And welcome. We're streaming again because reasons. I can stream. Obviously, I have the capacity to do it. But yes, I think also yesterday was quite fun. I went for a bit too long. So for tonight, we're probably going to do 2 hours max. That's all I'm going to do. And we're going to do something different again, I think. Just to show you, like, clearly I had an isometric dungeon crawler, which looked pretty good. I think tonight I might aim for a how do I put it? A 3-dimensional dungeon crawl, like a first-person dungeon crawler idea. I don't know how well this is going to go. So I'm going to see how far I'll get into this. And yeah. So I'm just going to post this into the appropriate places. Oh, and apparently the Primogen has just finished. That was just a good timing, I guess. Right, so the question is, are we going to be doing, are you just rewatching the VOD? Yeah, that's on YouTube, by the way, now as well. That's been uploaded. So you don't have to just watch it within a few days on Twitch. It's going to be on, it's on YouTube as well. So that's good news for people. Right. We're going to wait till people get on here because I've got a few things to talk about. But in general, I'll go back onto the scene. And you can see what we did yesterday, right? Or I mean, I did yesterday. This is the little game that I made. Probably tiny, too tiny to see. We'll zoom in a little bit. Just so people can see. But it was just too, if I didn't zoom in, it would be too small for me at least, you know what I mean? Too big for me. Like, look, here we go. We got a little dungeon crawl. We got this guy. He stands up. Every so often, he also does an animation to pick things up off the ground because randomly. We even got collision detection, look. And Z sorting done. We did all that. It was really nice. And look, we got all the different placements. We even got the walls here. We've got collision detection on the walls. Can't move here. He's stopped. But if he's idle, randomly we have the thing. And yeah, it's all kind of looked pretty cool from last night. This was the 2D dungeon crawl that was doing isometric. Clearly, there's some really horrible like anti-aliasing artifacts you can see here. Because friends don't let friends do non-pre-multiplied alpha. Yeah, this is just because the thing is just non-pre-multiplied and it looks dreadful. You want pre-multiplied alpha is what you want. So that's one aspect that we get going. But I think we're going to probably do something different for today. I think we're going to start a completely new one, and let's do one in 3D, shall we? So I've got a new Raylib thing set up, and I don't know Raylib whatsoever. So let's add a folder for Raylib again. So we have, I'm just looking for Odin on this list. Vendor. Raylib again. I'm gonna try and learn Raylib. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't know it at all. And let's go in 3D. All right, I was trying to do a first-person thing. Now Raylib has some controls already built in for the camera to do your 3D work. However, how do I phrase this? Raylib, from what I can gather, likes to do Y up as its coordinate system, and I want to do Z up, and clearly all of its stuff wants you to do Y up, so it's not going to be very good. Yes, I'm not trying to flag you, by the way. It's like you know what I mean? It's just not going to be a very nice system to deal with. So my question here, pretty much, is can we just develop our own camera and just do it simpler that way? Or can we just cheat with Raylib to begin with and then do the stuff? So we've got camera 3D here. So we've got the camera, Raylib, camera 3D, right? So it's got a position, a target, an up vector, the FOV and the projection. So let's keep it simple. The position of the camera is going to be a bit further away. So let's say position equals, I don't know. We'll look, I don't know, it's going to be annoying. 111. No, it's not here 111. Let's look like, say we're looking from about 4 units away in all directions. The target is going to be the center. The up vector, I know Raylib wants Y equals up for some reason. FOV, Y, let's try, I don't know, 60 degrees. I know it's in degrees. And then the projection, that one is perspective. Right? Wonderful thing to do. So then we can try the begin mode 3D, I think it is, right? Can we give him The Bill theme tune as an entrance song? Minecraft is Y up as well. I know it is. It's a default kind of one that people do. It's just trivial when you're doing like the mappings from. I prefer Z up myself. I'm just like, or I'm a guy. If I was going to choose my own coordinate system, is Z up, X forward as well. That's my preferred. So Y is to the left. So that's kind of plane coordinate systems. Okay, that's the way that I like to think. But whatever. I don't want to care. I'm just going to do Y up then because that's what Raylib does. It's just going to take a while for me to think this through in my head. Because it's going to it literally just change the coordinate systems, cocks you up. But hey ho. So we got that working. So clearly there's nothing changed yet. Now I know there's some like drawing things in here, so we can try to draw a cube. Let's just see if it works first. That's all I'm going to say. So it's a 0, 0, 0. The cube is 1. Let's say make it a unit cube, and then we're going to make it some color. Let's just do. I want to do bright orange, right? Like that. There we go. We got a cube. There's no lighting, but we've got a cube. So this means we're gonna have a custom shader, you know, right? Just to do lighting. Yay. But when I say lighting, I mean we're just gonna have a directional light so we can just see the normals. That's it. And sorry, I'm just thirsty anyway. But it's a clean, refreshing drink, my golden ale. Anyway, it's not really. It's like it's clean and refreshing, as I say on the pump clips. It's good, as you do. Time to cube about 5 seconds. So yeah, this is the thing about Raylib. I think Raylib seems to be really nice to do prototyping in. It's not necessarily going to be great for anything else per se, but we're going to find out. We also have like wired things here, so we can change this to wires. And we can see a wire face as well. So it's not probably a bad idea to do both for this. And then do the wireframe be like something like magenta. So it really sticks out there. So you can now, yeah. And I think there's also a camera update. There's a pro version, but I only want the update one here. And the camera mode. If I do orbital, I think, it spins it around for me. And actually, let's not do that. Let's do full on white, because then we'll actually be able to see it. There we go. So now we've got this kind of 3D thing. Yeah, Raylib's really nice for prototype. I'm still learning it myself. And there's things I'd like to change about the interface where I'm like, that maybe shouldn't be like a multi-pointed. That should be a pointed to an array kind of thing. But I'm still figuring out. There's loads of it. Literally, there's like, if you want coordinate systems, there's pretty much every single one you can do. There's right-handed, left-handed. There's like 3 different choices for your X up. There's 3 different choices. X up, Y up, and Z up, obviously. And by the way, also there's going to be X down, Y down, and negative as well. So there's technically 6 choices you can have, times 2, that's 12. And then there's your orientations to choose from as well, which is another. So you've got, what's that, 36 different choices? Or is it 24? Because some of them are going to be degenerate. You've got a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So we've got this circular thing going on right now, and it looks really, yeah, it looks it, right? So we've got this kind of thing, but we wanted to make a dungeon crawler, right? So the idea of a dungeon crawler is you need some floors and some walls. And doing a cube is kind of just not enough, in my opinion. You kind of need to draw quads, right? So effectively drawing planes. But those planes seem to be on like the y-axis. This is why I mean the API assumes y up. I'm starting to have some gripes about Raylib already, because it's like, it's a bit, assumes too much. Like drawing a grid. Like, guess what? I bet it's on a Y up axis. That's what I bet it's going to be. So slices, let's say 10, 10. Yeah. That's too much. Spacing. So slices is 10, spacing, let's say that's like, I don't know, there's can't see it. Let's try 100. Yeah, that's way too much. I don't know. Let's do like quarter of a unit, and then we're going to put this cube up a little bit. So instead of a unit of 1, if we go 1 up, it's going to be, yeah, we need half. Okay, there we go. There we go. We've got a nice little grid system going as well. And we could probably not do a like bright blue background. We could do that. Is it the ray white? That's the off-color white that they use. What is ray white? Yeah, it's slightly off white. So if we just do that manually. Yeah. Looks all right. I'd say that, right? We got that. Okay. So we've got this kind of basic thing going on, but what I want to do is again, the dungeon crawler thing. So we're going to have floors, which are going to be quads, and the walls, which are going to be quads. And they're all going to be textured, so we're going to have to make some textures up or just get them off the internet somewhere. We can make one. That'll look cool, right? Go full on low poly count, and then I'll show you how to do like sprite sheets and stuff as well. This might be fun. So is there a draw cube? There's a draw triangle and there's a triangle strip as well. Draw models. I'm just seeing what else there is, because interesting to me, this is the 3D stuff, but there's no draw quad. So I guess I'm just going to do draw triangle strips then and just do it with triangle strips. But this API isn't a slice, so I'm going to call this as draw triangle strip points vector 3 color RL color, like that. And all this is going to do is call the internal one, do the raw data on that, the length of that as a cint, and then pass color. Yeah. And then what we can then do is start doing a triangle strip thing. So in fact, yeah, we do it that way around. We can then have an array of these. So keep it simple. Let's just get rid of these here. We're going to start from 0, 0 to 0. I'm going to do one line up, right? 1, 2, no, wait, 1. Then up, then that. And then the color I'm going to do is, again, that lovely orange, because at least now it's distinctive. And then, right, we've got a triangle, and it's, okay, so the flipping's different, because it's a triangle strip. So it's going to be, right, I know what I need to do. So that's, it's got culling on, so we need to disable culling. No, we don't. We can see it's working now, right? So we've got one side of it we're looking at from there. And that is kind of good, to say the least. We've got a triangle strip. And we're going to offset that as -1 in the Z direction, yeah? So it's here. This is on the wall. So really, that needs to be offset in the other way. Yeah, so that's one wall, yeah? Makes perfect sense. So then the other wall is we've got to just kind of flip it slightly. So like that. And now we're going to have it one that, then one that way. But it's looking at the wrong, like, vectors is what I'm doing. Do collisions work with triangle strips? I mean, we're not do anything with collisions. I'm just doing a rendering thing at the moment. So I want to have it as a tunnel. So we're going to have to flip. I mean, the easiest way around this is just flip them all around. So now we should be able to see one wall, the other wall. Oh, no, that doesn't work. So we're starting in, I'm literally just doing my head. Yeah, I need to figure out. So I'm trying to figure out my manual stuff here. I'm trying to think about the winding order, because it might not be a good idea to use triangle strips. It might just be better to use a triangle. Right? Draw 2 triangles, because it's going to be... I know how it does its rendering. It's just batched. There's this triangle lines. No, I want the 3D. So there's the draw the triangle. So should we not try and do a triangle strip? Let's just do draw quad 3D. Yeah. And let's just do that, shall we? So we have points 0, 1, 2, color. And then we have 2, 3, 0. Yeah? So now, yeah, because they're not actually correct in this case. So I want to mix those two around back again to what I was wanting. So now I've got, okay, so if I close that one down. Yeah, so now it's the right way around in my head. We just want to flip those around, I think. No. So we're going counterclockwise. So yeah. So if we do the opposite way around, which is literally just flip all the literally flip them all, we should now have like a tunnel coming along, which is kind of what I was wanting. So if we then scale this out as it's gone into the X direction, all these X coordinates here, we make them 3. Yeah? You'll see these are now long walls that we've got. Makes any sense? So it looks pretty good, right? Yeah, you can build a mesh and render that directly too. I know you can, but it's not the what I'm trying to do. I'm going to go really old school. So I'm going to do a floor as well. And I need to just draw one on the floor as well. So let's keep this flat. And the way you do that is you just swap them around. And it should be, it's not in the right position because I've just put it in the wrong position. Like that, yeah? And then we kind of want them too wide. And that needs to be the one. Oops, no, I don't need that. I need... Where is that? No, they need to be there, don't they? Sorry, I'm just trying to build it up in my head. So we've now got a floor, we've got an orbital, but we can probably change this to first person, is that right? And then, oh god, Raylib's got, oh god, okay, so there's 2 things wrong here. Raylib, when you do first person, I need to disable the mouse. So hide cursor is the first thing. And then the second thing that I need to do is it just disable cursor that I need? Yeah, disable. Right? I need to invert Y. I'm one of those people, right? I'm one of those people who likes invert Y, and I can't... Oh, how do I go down? Oh god, this is not a... Ah! That's not a camera I want. How do I go up and down in Raylib? At the moment, it's at a certain height, and I kind of want it not to be, but maybe the easiest option is just put it at the correct height. So let's say I'm about 1.8 meters in height. That's my height, okay? So everything's going to be perspective. I'm going to do it in meters as well, because there's going to be Europeans watching this. So those walls, I want to get higher. I want to get them as, like, I don't know, 3 meter high walls. Yeah? So, and I want to get it in a position where... Here, but no, I want to go a bit further back. Not, oh god, not that far back. Yeah. So this is the first person camera look. And, oh god, sorry. I need to... Can you do invert Y? Or am I going to have to do pro? Yeah, I'm going to have to do pro, aren't I? So. But... Movement, rotation, zoom. Zoom's going to be that. Rotation is going to be 0. And then the movement, I'm just going to do a 0 as well for the time being. Aha, so these are all deltas. Yeah? So rotation in this case is a vector 3. So this is going to be the delta. So I need to go is Raylib get, was it frame time? Yeah? And then I need to get the mouse delta. So mouse, so delta, like that. Like that. So this is going to be equivalent to the rotation. So this is the, let's call this dr, right? So dr is going to be whatever the mouse delta is, times by dt. And then, I know what, so dr is going to be, it's a vector 3, isn't it? But for this is the beautiful thing about Odin, we might not even notice this, is a swizzling. I'm guessing it's x and y. And is it not disable cursor? Then how does, my question is, how does update camera work? So we need to look at Raylib source code again, figure out how things work. Okay. I need the C file. Okay, that's the headers. No, that's going to be... Well, these are all different examples. I don't want that. Okay, here we go. Is there anything especially exciting coming in Odin soon? Well, that's the question, is what you mean. So for some people, literally no features at all is extremely exciting. As in, yeah, Odin's not getting any more features, really. Pretty much. That's really exciting, because it means it's stable. That's one thing I may be excited about. We may get some new libraries. There are some stuff coming in the future. More also improvements to the compiler. Like, I've just been trying to improve error messages and hints and such, and just make things better for everyone. So that's some exciting stuff. If Odin ever gets a garbage collector as its language feature, you know I'm literally being held hostage, is all I'm going to say. Okay? Yeah. What is the mouse move sensitivity then? Very low, but that's not a problem. And by the looks of it, are you telling me? Is their camera code not even like frame rate based? Oh, that's terrifying. They didn't even bother to times it by DT. Are you honestly telling me Raylib's code is frame rate independent? Okay, so I'm going to just do this. Right? Just to prove a point. So this is the I have to disable after we've done the camera updates, okay? God, I can't use it. So it's really high fast, and we're doing 144 frames per second. Let's go down to 30. Let's go down to 10. Yeah, I think it's frame rate dependent, isn't it? That's bad. That's just bad programming, man. I might be wrong. I hope I am. Okay, so this is... Okay, so what I need to do here is on the Y, I need to invert it. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now it's a bit jittery. Yeah? But I think that's because it needs to be... I wonder if the update Pro, or maybe it's already got the delta in there. That's the thing. Right? Maybe it's already got the delta in there. And then it's... Okay, so let's say times 2. Okay, that doesn't seem to work as I expect. Oh, God, what the... Yeah, I just want to kind of do this. I'm just going to get the camera working fine. This is still faster than if I was doing it manually, man. Still faster, so you can be happy about that. But I swear, did I just get rid of the raylib source code? Yeah, I did. I'm very smart like that. So, update camera pro, which is here. Update camera. So I'm just going to look at how it actually updates things. So it looks like pan speed is a constant. So is it frame rate dependent? Because it looks like... Yeah, but who defines move? I just want to see it because I wonder if it's frame rate dependent or not. Show 8 more matches, please. Yeah, here. Yeah, it's frame rate dependent. Well done. It's not a good thing, by the way. Yeah, so I do need to multiply by dt. Why is this not working as I expect? Maybe I just need to do yaw. But why is there no camera yaw? I have to use the update camera module? Why? That is bizarre, but okay. So what I'm going to do now is just do the controls. So if we can just do movement, right? And this is going to be an RL vector 2 because we're just moving on a single plane. We're not going up and down at the moment. There's no point if you're doing a dungeon crawler. It's kind of the point, isn't it? So if key is key down? Is it key down? Yeah, is key down or is what we want to look for. So if it's W, then movement, we're going to go in the forward direction, right? So which is forward in our space? I'm going to say X is forward, yeah? So we're going to add X to that miss. Then S is going to be minus that. A is going to be to the... It's this coordinate system. So negative Z. So negative Y. Oh no, when it's... Oh god, I hate mixing coordinate systems up. Okay. It's going to be negative Z to do A. And then D is going to be positive Z. Yeah? Right? But then we're going to have to rotate it because it's going to be dependent on what the angle of the camera is. Right? There's a reason why people use the default. You know what? I'm going to use the default. Not because it's good, but because I can't be bothered to write all this code. And it's kind of bad. Anyway. Because it's literally... I'm going to have to get used to him not doing invert Y. And this is moving so fast as well. Unless someone tells me it's better. Someone's already written a better like camera code handling code, but yeah. Right, so this looks really bad. So, oh fuck! No, I need to change the camera code. I can't use this. It's going too fast because my frame rate's too fast. Bugger. I didn't want to do that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's 1, and then that's D. Yeah. Movement equals linalg normalize 0. R dot position. So camera dot position equals we don't even need necessarily to do that. We can do it up here. Right, in the camera handling code. That's the movement. And it's going to be like we're going to move 1 tile per second times dt. Oh. Why is that going down? Where? That makes no sense to me. Why would the wire... whatever. Going very slow now. Let's go for 4 meters per second if we're doing meters. Quite a very fast wall. That's quite good. That's running speed, really. Okay? But in games, you always want to go faster than you actually are, if you know what I mean. It's kind of the thing. Oh, and it does do it relative to the camera. Okay, so they've already figured that out. Okay, that's kind of a thing. But the camera doesn't work. Is it because I've disabled the cursor? So how does the update camera thing? Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Is it because I'm hide the cursor? Does that make a difference? No, it is clearly disabled. Too much. Why is this not good? Look at that. Let's do the non... It's going too slow now. That's gone too fast. It's when you tweak numbers just to get it to feel right. But no, see what happens? If you go too much, this camera is just not good. I don't understand what any of this is meant to be doing. How is this the pro thing? The pro thing to me would just be I set a matrix. That would be it. Just set a matrix and I'd be happy. Okay. You know what? Screw the camera. We're going really old school and you can move forward or backwards or you can turn. Right? That's a much better way of doing a camera. Yeah? Makes sense? Good, because that's what we're doing. That's the movement done. Either forward or backwards and nothing else. And then mouse delta, we don't care. So now we're going to just... The Y doesn't matter, that's always going to be 0. So the X is the only one we care about. Yeah. And that's going to be... So this will be... that. And then these will be the X. And in fact, not just do... let's just do these. Up, down, left and right. Wait, I put an and in there when I meant an or. Okay. I knew what I meant. Thousands wouldn't. Whoa, that was not meant to be movement. That was meant to be dr. dr times dt. Yeah, it's not moving fast. Let's go 300? No. Yeah, 200. Going a little bit too fast now, so 100. Look, when in doubt, go ultimate. You're right. Go full on ultimate with the style. This is kind of the style I want. So to prove it, now we've got some things working is the best way of putting it. The style of rendering the quads doesn't work because what I'm going to have to need to do now is do some textures on this, right? So it means I'm going to have to pull out RLGL again. And I don't know how I meant to do this, but there's going to be like vector... No. Vertex 3F again? Right? RLGL. Begin. And then the mode I have to deal with. I'm guessing it's going to be... Let's say it's quads, right? I know things are actually in triangles. But for some reason, they're allowing quads. Yeah? Oh, no, because it's going to be... Ooh. I don't think it actually is quads, is it? If it says it's OpenGL quads, I don't think it's going to be OpenGL quads, do you? So let's do the vertices and do it normal, if you know what I mean. So that's 1, 2, 2, 3, 0. We can set a color in there as well. No, actually, let's do the normalized one because that's what we got. Color.RGBA. And then points. Oh yeah, and the lovely feature we can do this. Expand values. It's rendered as we expect. So now shall we just make some stuff up? Now, I don't have it on my machine, and I thought I owned it. I wanted something like a sprite. A sprite is what you pronounce it, right? Now, I thought I owned this. No, I'm buying it. Let me just check my own private emails first. I swear I owned it. I swear I owned this at one point. Well, I'm buying it. Otherwise, we're doing paint. I want to paint something. Just literally, I want to make some textures up. Otherwise, we can use someone else's. Yeah, but the problem is with the first person thing, it's not the problem with getting first person. As I wanted specific camera controls, I wanted to change the sensitivity as well as doing invert Y, quote unquote invert Y, which used to be not invert. That used to be it, if you know what I mean. There's paint.net. We could do our own. I could go really old school. We could get someone else's like we did last time. What do people think? Seriously, what do people think? Shall we do our own art? Or should we do someone else's? I'm going to wait for people to answer the thing. You're all saying my own art. Now, the problem is MS Paint looks like this nowadays. So I'm going to just buy some software that's actually meant for pixel art. Right? Let's buy it. Right. I know. MS95 Paint was much better. I agree. I agree with you that very much. I remember using... Like, so the last time I used Windows 95 was as an emulator on a RISC PC. This is going back 20 years ago at least. No, probably 20 years ago, yeah. So I didn't use 95 on an actual machine. I used it as an emulator on a RISC PC. For people who don't know what a RISC PC, this is an Acorn machine. It was an Acorn RISC machine. A RISC PC, also known as... Most people know what an Acorn RISC machine is nowadays. It's called an ARM chip. Yeah, it's those people. Yeah. So good days, that is. So I don't. You're not seeing anything on my screen right now, anyway. So it's clearly putting incredible lot of details in. It's not always the best thing to show live on stream, now is it? You give people the talking moose. Give the talking moose the numbers. Now, if anybody gets the reference of the talking moose, you'll get some internet points. Is all I'm going to say. That's all I'm saying. And yes, by the way, you're seeing me buy software as well. Clearly. Oh, payment failed. Payment failed? I typed that in right? Yeah. If this doesn't work, I hate payment providers. I went through this time. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for your thing. We're just waiting a payment. Great. I want to get my game, quote unquote game. You get a Steam key. I just want to download it. Please. Perfect by me. Let's launch. Whoa, bright screen nearly blind me. What are we building today? We're building a 3D, and sorry, I apologize for people for blinding them, because clearly it's white on my pasty skin now. Going from non-pasty to, oh my god, I've never seen the sun. Yeah, okay, so we're going to just draw a sprite sheet, and I think we're going to go so retro as well. 256 by 256 in colored, not indexed, but colored. Wait, when it says color mode, when it says indexed, does it actually mean it's going to be outputted as an index thing, or they just give you a color palette? Advanced options, definitely square pixels. Okay. This is it. Now we're in dark mode. Okay. Was there a dark mode to begin with? Yeah, there is. That's same to me. I've got some tablet stuff. But bless my face. Fly. That's what I was saying. Is it true indexed or not? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to draw stuff, and we're going to do some really, really good drawing. I'm going to see my drawing skills. So we're going to go old, not going to go old school. We're going to do what like old school Minecraft used to do. So for people who don't know, old school Minecraft used to have literally a 256 by 256 pixel. I think it was like that. It might have been 512, whatever. Screen thing like this, right? And then you would just render stuff. And yeah, and then we just use the tile maps and just load this in. So they only had one texture on, so they could always just upload it as necessary. Because of course, that works. Right? So if I remember how to do this, I'm just planning in my head now. Sorry. Or I could just, can I add a grid system on this? I haven't used this in a long while. I literally want a sprite system. Can I add a grid? Or am I going to, this is kind of a grid, but it's not the grid I kind of want. So can I add, does anybody understand this system where I can go, right, here's a rectangle. How many pixels across is that? Effectively, I want 32 pixels ones. Makes sense, yeah. Okay. Does this make sense? What I'm trying to do? Also, view. Sorry. So you go into view, grid settings, We want 32 by 32, not 16. I think 16 is going to be too small. Perfect. I've got a grid. Oh, perfect. Right. So the idea is that I'm going to go kind of old school. I say old school. I don't mean old school. We want to do some like blocks, okay? So I've got the white I've just drew around this, but really what we want is something that's like a grey shape. In fact, is there a... God, it's all over here. Can we move this to the other side? How do I... How do I move this control panel to the other side? It's a little annoying. It's over... I'm not annoying. I'm just not used to it. I want a different background color as well. Can I change that? I'm making an atlas, like a texture atlas is what I'm doing, yeah? Effectively. We could go 16 pixels and go like full on like Minecraft style, which might actually be okay. So if we go to grid settings, 16. Yeah, so these are the tiniest things, but we don't need all these. We only need probably 32. But I want something so I can see it. So how do I get rid of this weird checkerboard pattern is what I want to know. Tab? Tab's not what I'm doing. I don't need layers. I want, like, to just see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to just do this. How do I make it... Oh, go to there. Points. There we go. Now pixels. Yeah? Well, if we went full on Minecraft style, we want to kind of get some, like, grey... Like, we want to get some... In fact, I've done that the wrong way around. So we want the brick level up there. Well, they're probably too many bricks now, but... And then we've got 1, 2, 3. No, we don't want to... 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess? Because then... No, it is 1, 2, 3 we want. Because you could do, like, just random size bricks is kind of what I'm thinking. So if we do, like... And I don't know, just do some different bonds as well. What kind of bonds should we do for our bricklaying? Like that? The thing is, you know what I could do? I've actually got some old artwork that I drew up somewhere from like an old Ludum Dare game. And that was very like retro dungeon crawler style as well. So clearly I've got a... Where was it? Yeah, I found one. And wow, is this... I actually did some really good art back in the day, apparently. So if I get rid of this crap, well, that's blur. Let's get rid of this. Right? This is what I drew last time. And this is literally from an old, like, Ludum Dare game I did. I think it kind of fits the aesthetic I'm going to go for right now. So it looks pretty good. Look at that. They are much better things that I drew. But also notice this is on a much tinier like scale. It's not even a big canvas size. So can we make it even smaller than what we've got? Right. So we could just delete this. Don't save. Do a new file. Go back to the 256. Copy and paste that in. But that's... That... Is it an 8x8 I did here? No, that can't be right. Yeah, it is, but so... Yeah, it must have been huge. So I'm going to do even smaller than that. We don't need it 256. We do 128 by 128 then. All right? And then we don't need all of this stuff either. Like, notice that the grid sizes I was doing was like, that was just so I had something to play. But this is not a bad little thing. So let's call this, God, where am I saving this stream stuff? Oh yeah, stream games. 3D, res. Let's just put it in res. And let's call this, Atlas. Atla, I call it Atla. Oh, I meant Atlas. Get rid of the Atla. And then I'm going to export it. Can I save as export sprite sheet? Well, I don't need to worry about that. I can do it myself. Export as PNG is probably fine. Yeah, we've now got PNG in there, guys. So we've done that. We can now do the Atlas. So Atlas, load, the wrong one, load image. Res atlas.png. It's not an image, it's a load texture, sorry. An image is useless for me for this particular case. And then what we're going to do is once we've now got this, we can add in the texture 2D. So when we render those quads, right? We can put that in there. So text is that. And in fact, the color is going to be... We can just say that's white, can't we? And in fact, we can have a default value for it as well. One of the benefits of having... things. So we have... It's all white at the moment. We have no textures gone. So we have to kind of figure out... RL, GL... text coord? No, where is the... No. Vertex 2F. We have text coord 2F as well in here. So these are the texture coordinates. 0, 0, 0. So we just need to do them all up. So this will be like 0, 0. 0, 1. 1, 1. And then we're going to 1, 1. 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay. RL texture. So how do I push a texture? Begin texture mode. No. Does anybody have an idea? Okay. Has anybody got an idea what I'm doing wrong? So I'm trying to render the custom thing with these things, but I want to add some textures to it. So... set texture. So that'll be that then, I guess. Okay. They've got the wrong texture coordinates to everything. But... yeah, but they're just not very good. So it might be a better way to do this render quad, is we now just generalize it a little bit further. So we have like the initial corner, the top, and do everything else. So I might have been done this wrong. I mean, this is looking dreadful, right? At least the texture's loaded in. It's just not looking right. Why is it wrong? I have no idea. This is welcome to the thing. Ship it. I know it looks good, right? But you can see what I'm trying to figure out. Like I'm trying to do the grid stuff, trying to figure it out, do it that way, and it should be, quote unquote, a dungeon crawler. So we could probably have a. We've got the floor there. Right, we could probably put a ceiling on as well. No, which one was the floor again? We'll find out just by literally a product of elimination. No, that was one wall. That was the other wall, and then this was the floor, I guess? No, the middle one was the floor. Interesting. Okay. So if I do that, go for the height to be 3 again. 3 meters seems perfect for a dungeon, I think. Kind of feel. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now we've got like a corridor going in. But what doesn't make any sense to me is none of those are actually the right texture coordinates. So maybe if I did quads, right? Just hear me out, right? I can then kind of figure out what's gone wrong. Yeah, it's the scene from Interstellar. That's a very good answer to that question, but no. I'm going to see which first one we're doing it. We're not going to do the wall. We're going to do my idea. What's wrong with those texture coordinates then? Seriously? What's wrong with them? And I'm going to figure out which index I want as well. So we're going to have to do some calculations. So we know how many's in there. So there's 16 by 16, right? We go to A sprite. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 of them, right? So there's 8 on them. So yeah, it's right. So we need to go. I want to get the floor to be this wood color, shall we? So that would be. Wait a minute. I can't do basic arithmetic still again. There's 8 of them. So it's on the x-axis. It's going to be 0, 0, 0, right? Up until I'm going to put this as an n. 1.0 over 8. Yeah. Still very wrong. So I need to figure out, okay, so let's not do the sub thing until we've figured out what's gone wrong. So the bottom one is fine, but that one on the left is wrong. So it's just one wall that's kind of fucky, to use the technical term. Right? It's just that side wall, and whichever wall it is it that wall? No, that's the ceiling. I think that was the floor, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the floor. So let's label these. Floor. Ceiling. That's the first wall, I guess. And I think it's just because the order of the things is wrong. Yeah. Oh, no. So Yeah, I think what the problem is the ordering of those vertices is just balked. So we need to figure out, we need to just generalize this better, okay? So we need to just do a quad. So we need to do a start to end, and then they need to be in vector 3s. Yeah? So we need to do X is start. So let's call this A, B, C, and D. Right? So that's going to be the end coordinate. How the hell are we going to then figure out where those other two quads come in? Because that doesn't tell you. Start and end doesn't help. No, so you just need a position. And then we need a size, don't we? Yeah? So the size will tell me the plane orientation. Does that work? Yes. Because you only need it in one axis, don't you? Yeah, the goofy technical terms, yeah. So let's just do these correct. So we've got A, B, C, and D. Right, so when we draw these quads, we don't need to draw them all out. Let's just do the floor first, right? So the floor should be the easiest. So it starts in 0, 0, 0. The size of this is actually like on the floor like that. So let's say it's just a big one. Expected a comma, got semicolon. Yeah, because I haven't closed the ball up right. So position plus size, position. It's not going to render correctly. Right? So we now need to know what the x position is. So that's going to be like effectively the size.x. And I know it's going to be in z, so we're just going to pretend. Just for the time being, right? I don't see a thing. Can we disable culling? Disable backface culling. Just for the time being. That's all I'm thinking of, yeah? So I want to see where it is. Okay. It's rendered the quad right, but it's backwards, so we've got it upside down. Which is fine. That's actually fine. That just means when we render things, we have to figure it out. How is your build time so fast? I'm just doing this, and I'm not doing much. That's how fast my build times are, and you can see how fast they are. So if I go show timings, it's saying that the majority of the time is stuck in type checking, not in the code generation. I also have a 16-core machine, so if I do thread count, like, no, 4, we might have, it's still fast. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes it could be a machine. It could be because this is a very, very simple project. You have to remember, this is only not even 100 lines of code. Yeah, but this is such a tiny project. Like, there's nothing LLVM in there. Yeah, most of the time we're doing it. Oh yeah, by the way, onon is what we're doing nowadays by default. On the current compiler, onon is the default rather than minimal. Which minimal will be slower. Right? But yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, the UVs are fucky there. But I'm trying to figure out in my head, how am I doing this correct? Because I'm gonna have to get out at Milton again and do the calculations, people, on stream. Right? Milton? That was the stuff from yesterday. Yeah, we'll go down again. So, if we do the floor, which is in the Z coordinates, which is why everything's kind of going backwards and the upside down and whatever, right? Right, so we have a coordinate system. Our coordinate system looks like this. I'm assuming it's right-handed. There's no reason it would be left-handed. So this means that the principal positions are weird. So if we want to draw a tile on the floor, right? Effectively, x is going to be forward, and that means z's to the right. Yeah? This means here's got the 0, 0, 0 position. And up here, we're going to be the... we'll say it's 3 to the z and 3 to the x. Yeah? So how do we generically say that is a tile in that orientation? Maybe the option is you don't, and you just have, you render floors, you render walls, and then you say, hey, it's at this position, and it points in that direction. And then we just have it that way, and it's already pre-calculated. Yeah, I'm gonna just do it the dumb way. Have it pre-calculated, so we're rendering a floor. So, we got draw quad, but that's literally useless to us. So, we're gonna have draw, floor, rock. Yeah, that's not good. We're gonna have to still do it manually. This is the annoying thing about all of this. So we have position. And that's going to be in the 3D coordinates anyway, but yeah, we should say 3 coordinates. We've got the text, texture 2D. We now need to figure out where we're going. So we've got a size, and we know the size is going to be 1, right? Just keep it 1. So we go in the Z direction. Yeah. And we knew which one we are because we're in a different coordinate system. So draw floor. And we're just going to do it at 0, 0. And I'm going to put the atlas in there as well, yeah? There's no color, but that's because we can just call it... Yeah? You can see that. Now, all of the UVs are still wrong, which makes no sense to me, right? Because I would have thought these are the correct UVs, no? So maybe we'll go back to triangles. And then manually do everything ourselves. What am I doing wrong? Seriously, what am I doing wrong? I'm going to hide all that crap. I can't believe what I'm doing is even that complicated, right? Let's just draw a plane, right? And we're just going to set the texture. So we have the position. The size is going to be 1 like that. And the color is going to be white. Even its UVs are going to be wrong there, right? That's not good. Welcome to more people on the street, me just complaining about Raylib. And it's one of those where if you did it from scratch, I knew exactly what I'm doing. But I'm not doing it from scratch, so I don't actually know. I wonder if I drew a cube. No, because that's not going to have the textures on it. So we're still going to have to do this trick, right? So let's do the dumb thing, yeah? Let's just do 1 triangle and get that looking correct. And not just that, let's make it look so we can actually even see it. Yeah? Yeah, that wasn't the answer I was looking for. Because I'm not in the right plane now. So if I'm pointing in X, I need to be in the... I need to be looking at a different position. So I need to be looking in the Z position, I guess. Yeah, like from here. That's 1 triangle, and those UVs are wrong. Now, is it because those UVs need to come first? Yeah. That was my bug all along. It was the order of the UVs. They were doing it... Oh, okay. This is why I don't like immediate mode anything, usually. Sorry, immediate rendering like this. Oh god, what's going wrong? It's still open somehow. What? What? TD... Apparently it's still open. Is Odin still open? What? I don't see it. Camera's frozen in the most weirdest position as well. What the fuck? You see what I'm doing? Yeah. Camera is not done. Okay. Why is the camera gone froze? That doesn't make any sense. Can I restart the camera is the question. Will this cock it all up? Yeah, that doesn't work. How do I restart my camera? It's an OBS issue. Yeah. I've had something wrong with OBS. That's why I think it was going. Everything went wrong. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So yeah, you're not seeing my face anymore. So sorry. Unless I stop the stream and then restart again, but that's not a good idea for Twitch. So all I'm showing is I'm trying to figure out. What the fuck is going on here? We can keep the cursor involved. There's no reason why. Okay, now it's something going wrong. It's taking a long time to load everything. I think OBS has made problems. Yeah, I don't need to. Why am I keep rebuilding? It's actually OBS has fucked it up. Look, it's built it. It's now taking forever to load. Okay, you can't see my face of angry, but go to device manager. I need to like restart the device, I think. But how do I do that? Update? No. Like, I know the easiest way to do this is I literally unplug it and plug it in again. But I know that would probably break things as well. So let me just... Yeah. Welcome to Technical Stream Problems. You gotta love computers, right? Okay. Okay, so does that work again? Nope. I need to restart the OBS then. Or do I need to just delete the camera and put it back in again somehow? Okay, I think that fixed it. Cool. Plugging it and plugging it back in again works. Right? But now I've got a problem with the rendering. So I think what happened is if I just disable all this, right? And then rebuild. Look, it takes for... It's now instance to load, okay? That's great. Something was going off when I was doing the... I think it was just... I think OBS cocked everything up. So now we've got a single quad here, but we know everything's flipped the wrong way. That's really simple. Every time we have an X, we go 1, 0... Sorry. 0, 0, 1, 1. We now got that in the right place. Yeah. This is not the floor, by the way. So we need to do 0, 1. We've got it there, but in when you do it the floor one, it looks like it's now, I didn't need to do the flip. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah? So now we want to just have some like wooden tiles. So we need to just do the end thing here, right? 1.0 over 8.0. Make sure it's a float. And then we need to do the n 0. That gives us a like size, but not the offset. But you know what I'm trying to do, right? So it's pretty much a... Oh no, there's another way of doing this. Much easier way. I don't know why I'm doing it this way around. If we ask for an index, we can calculate for it. So we're going to just do index, and it's going to be a U8, because guess what? It is a U8. And in our 0, 1, 2, 3, 8. So we're looking for number 8. Yeah. So we take the index, and then we can get the row and the column. So the row of that index is going to be divided by 8, and then the column is going to be mod by 8. Yeah? Now, if people know their shifting arithmetic correctly, you shift by 3, and then you mod by 7. And we can put them here. And in fact, you want them the other way around. So you've got row and column. Column is effectively your I position. Yeah, and then you've got your row there. So then you've got your numbers. You then want to times that by F32. Yeah. And then times it by n. Be the normalization factor. So when we put them into here, I plus n, I plus n, I, right? I can always put plus 0 in there to make it very clear. That's going to be j plus 0. J plus n. And do the j plus n bit there as well. And look, there we got a wooden floor. We got a wooden floor, guys. We did that correctly. But the problem is we can't do tiling with this because we can't repeat because it's one texture. So we're going to have to draw multiple bits of flooring. So effectively, we're going to just do a big grid. You didn't guess. Let's just do 10. Going from like minus 5 to 5. And those are all F32s, just to make it clear. And then we got J. And then our floor positions are going to be at I and J. And in fact, to make it very clear, no, let's do that. There's an entire floor. We can get rid of this grid now because that grid's actually useless to us. There we go. We can see some like, rendering artifacts, but it's working. Okay, making sense. Right, now we can get a wall in place. So we have to have a position for the wall, and then we have to figure out which direction it's walking in. So, because this is going to be the position on the floor, right? So it's the grid position there. Right. RL vector 3. Right. And then we can have a ceiling. Right. And that's all that needs to be now is it needs to be the other way around for the texture. So we need to just kind of the ordering of it, because now I've got rid of also, by the way, I've also got rid of the culling, right? So that's the right way around. So when we draw a ceiling now, okay, the ceiling we want as a different number. So let's honestly go for 0. Right, for the ceiling. In fact, we can just do this, so we don't have to keep doing it like that every single time. Now, the ceiling's in the wrong place. But as we said, let's say it's like 2 meters for the ceiling, but we can't see it because it's going to be cooled. So we want to change the ordering of the rendering of those vertices. So we effectively just want to go backwards. D, C, B, A. Yeah. And that's a 2 meter ceiling. We're probably a little bit too high. So we're going to pretend we're dwarfs. So we're going to be at 1.2 meters. Yeah? Seems about right to me. Right, if anyone else here can figure out why you can see the gaps between the stuff, please tell me. Yep, please tell me, because it would help out, obviously. That's one thing to do. Now we're going to have some walls. Let's copy and paste that code. Draw wall position. Yeah. And then we're having the direction. Sorry, it's an enum. So it's going to be I'm going to pretend the coordinate system is XY. We're changing the fucking coordinate system. I don't care. So which way's forward? We're going to have north as BY, right? We have north, east, south, and west. Yeah. Let's make that a U8 as well, because why not? Whoops. So this will give me the position, which is great, but now it needs to be the... Yeah. Case for north, east, south, and west. And they're all going to have their own cases to them, yeah? So if we draw a wall and it's in, and we're looking at into the Y direction, right? So we're at, we'll say -10. So I should say that we're at -10. So we're looking into positive Y. So we want to be looking at the south-facing wall, really. We want to look at something that's south-facing. So let's do that particular case. And we want to do a whole run of them. And we're going to render them twice, by the way, because what we've got to do is we've got to have those two walls. Yeah, that makes sense. Is it an anti-aliasing issue? Yeah, it might be. So if I disable anti-aliasing... Sometimes I get those anti-aliasing. Yeah, it was an anti-aliasing issue. We don't want aliasing in this game anyway. Yeah, so there's that. Now we want a wall. So if we go across the x-axis here, draw wall, and it's going to be at 5, pretty much. So this whole entire wall is going to be the I5. It's going to be the south-facing one. And what were we going to do a wall as? We're going to do it as a 16, shall we? Right? That's the atlas in. And we've got to draw a wall. So I am going to just pretend this is the case. The position, it doesn't change for the x. Oh no, it does on those two coordinates. But the z is the... No, it's that. The z doesn't change. Right, there we go. But it needs to be a double height, obviously, so we need to do it twice. So So I need to have all of the... Oh god, that's annoying. So if we do double height, we're rendering it twice. So we need to do 2 quads effectively. So we need to do that quad, and then another quad. So I'm just thinking through in my head how this works. As again, in about half an hour, I'll probably stop. Said I was going to do 2 hours. I don't want to do too much because last time I was tired. But the other option is we can... Yeah, there's another option to this, and it's quite simple. Let's call this Y. Whoops. F32. There we go, just draw it twice. That's the south wall done. Pretty simple, right? And looks pretty cool as well, in my opinion. Is that the right line as well? View, grid. No, so I've actually got the textures upside down. I knew I would get the textures upside down somehow. For the floors, it doesn't really matter too much, but for the walls, it does. So that means, yeah. But they're still upside down. Huh? Oh no, is that right? Yeah, that's the right way around. So I had them the wrong way at that time. So these are probably upside down as well. Yeah, N, 0, 0, 0, N. So now these are the right way around. There's not really a difference to that, right? This is our world. Looks pretty good, right? Now we need to figure out some of the other walls. So I need to plop him inside the world because I'm going from like -5 to 5. So if we put him at like -4, he's well and truly in the thing. Yeah, he's not looking down now. He's looking actually straight ahead. So that's a good news, right? So now we need to do is the south-facing wall, right? Let's do the north-facing wall. So north-facing, this would be north-facing, but as soon as we come outside of the world, we should see them. Oh, we haven't rendered any yet. So north-facing is going to be that again, but it needs, some of them needs to be swapped around. So, there we go. That's north-facing. Pretty simple, right? And then we need to do the east and west. So I'm being really kind of dumb with this, if you didn't guess. East and west. It's going to be looking very, very wrong. But that didn't work, did it? So because nothing's been rendered yet. So if we're looking at, if it's east facing, it's coming in from the negative Z, isn't it? So the Z direction doesn't change. Yeah? That's fine. So let's just keep them together. So the east direction, let's just render them like that, okay? Because then I know they're very, very wrong. Right? They're just, look, they're just wrong. It would have been quicker if I did a bloody ray tracer, raycaster at this point, but oh well. So they're in the right Z position, right, which is this. But it's not the X that they need to be in. Like, let's try that. Yeah, that was right. And then for the other one, uh, 0011, we've now got a room. How's that? How's that for you? Another thing we could do for the camera is we could just wait for, we could just do angles and just, it does an animation between the cameras if you wanted. But I think that kind of like a freeform one is good. It's still not, it feels a little bit slow now. So let's go for 150. I've gotten used to it. So that's why it feels slow. That feels better now. We now just need barrels and the columns. Exactly what I was thinking in a sense, actually. But we've got some like some library pieces I've done, so we don't need to just do that. We can do some columns for the like columns. So what we can do here is you see these different drawings with the flooring. We can add a variance to it every so often. So we have got some random numbers generator, remember? So if I go to import math/rand, we have some random number generator. So we can just generate this every single time. Rand.create, and I'm going to go, we're going to go with leet again, because that was a really nice one, I think. Yeah. Random generator. And that's going to be default random generator. Like so. And then when we come to these like floors, we can add a little bit of a variance to things, right? So rand.int max, and it's not even int max, this is uint, isn't it? So it's kind of like, it's going to be really u8. Yeah? Int max of 2. What have I done wrong there? Add some random numbers in when I was typing. So now I've got some variance going on in here. But what I really want is technically a choice, yeah? U8. I must do like 8, 8, 8, and a 9 in there. So we just got certain weighted choices, yeah? Oops, it's not. So now we've got some like moss on the floor, right? Well, we're setting it every frame. Right? Because we're setting the seed every frame. So we don't actually have to do this. You are correct. We could do this, and then we could do reset to 137. I've got a W in that rand. So I could have just done that. That is perfectly valid, right? Just reset it every single frame to the same seed. So we can do the same thing with the walls now. The wall is going to be, it's between 16, and there's a 17 in there. Right, so some of them have got moss down them, and if they do, they're all like full on. It's not just patchy. And then we've also got like choices of 18 in there as well, which have got holes in the wall. Look at that. But they don't look great, in my opinion. So let's just keep with 17. So that looks nice. Yeah, Odin. Oh my goodness, we forgot to say this. It was Odin's 8th birthday like 3 days ago. Yeah, Odin's 8 years old now. On the 7th, it was his birthday. Sorry, we never celebrated it, but it was also like, it's a programming language, it's not a person. So yeah. That's pretty good. So now we can try and do like a column we could probably render as, because that's the thing, is a column is going to be multiple walls, right? This madness. People are going to ask, oh god, this rendering code is really bad. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Uh, right? So it's going to be multiple walls in that mix. So we're going to have wall position. It's going to have an ID and then the texture. But we're also going to have to do... It's going to be at that point there. And it's going to be... The first one is going to be like... Let's say it's 0, 0. Then it's going to be south facing. Yeah. The next one is going to be the east facing one. And that one is going to be plus 0, 0 here. Plus 1. Plus 1 for the north facing. And then we've got the west facing here. Yeah, so we're going to put some random columns everywhere as well. So, if rand dot int max, let's say it's 10 equals 0 again, we can just draw a column at I and j. And looking at our 0, so 8, 16, 24, let's do 25, shall we? Oops, I meant to do a column. So there's, I've probably done the positions of these wrong, by the way. Yeah, I've got them. Yeah, because I never actually changed that one to the right one, so it should be in west facing. So, and have I got the... So some of these are correct, right? Well, I think I should have them all correct at this rate, but I might not have the position correct, if you know what I mean. Right, so that's kind of things. I made these textures for Illudum Dare ages ago, so I'm like, why am I wasting time for like some stream on here showing off? So I think the positions are wrong, that's all. So let's just make sure we got south. That's the south facing, yeah? And in fact, just to keep this even more like I know what's going on, let's just have one of them in place, yeah? And let's just put it in the exact center. 0. So we've got the south facing one. Wonderful. Okay, that one is correct for the west facing. That could be north facing, I think. Yeah, so this is where things go a little bit awry. So that is north facing. And that is south facing. Yeah. So the only other one left in that mix is the east facing one, right? Which I thought would have been that. But it might have not been. Look, no, see where it is. So the problem is it's too far up. Oh, east is... Oh, it doesn't matter because it must have been the exact same place then. Okay. So that is my column sorted, right? Now, to give some variance in that, I kind of want them to have a little bit difference, like the bit of randomness to go through it all. So it's effectively those bookshelf textures that I made ages ago. Like there's 4 to choose from, right? So when I'm going through each of those things, it's the same with the wall. I kind of want some variance. So again, I made these for a jam ages ago, right? They're not necessarily the best thing in the world, but they work. And in fact, what I can do is I don't need them all, but like, okay, so there's the ceiling's probably a little bit too dark as well. Let's go for number 1 for the ceiling. Like, that looks like a much better color for the ceiling anyway. But we could, right, so we got the floor, right? What if we just said the floor was was black, like that. That's the floor. Looks more like that. So then we can add some crates into the mix as well. We haven't got barrels, but we can draw a crate. Let's draw a crate. Height is 1. The texture ID is, what was it again? 8? Yeah, 8. But we haven't got something on top either, so we'd actually have to have a floor piece. Like that. So it's going to be drawing a floor. Go there. So it's on position 8, texture, height offset is equal to 1. Like that. So then when we go, we've got a column there, but we can draw a atlas. Ta-da, look at that. We have a crate of some sort. Just a wooden box. Yeah. This is coming along, right? Not bad for... We had some technical issues as well. So really it's like 90 minutes this has been. And you can see how quickly you can like iterate when you do game jams like Ludum Dare and such, right? If you get this iteration going well, you can get some good stuff going on like this. Like, this feels like I'm doing Minecraft in a weird sense, but I'm not. Are we drawing things backwards? We have a first loot box, yeah. So, what we've got here isn't a crate, because crates don't look like this, do they? So, we need to add a new texture in for a crate. So, if I select that... Oops. Paste. Oops, I just copied him. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. This is going to be our crate. So we're effectively just going to do a... not do that. Let's just do... You see these kind of thing here? It's kind of going to be like that around the outside, and then we have something going diagonal is what my idea is. Right? Because that's how a crate looks. And in fact, we could probably make this a little bit thinner. So if we just take the same... Like, there's like a noise texture here, and I think it's the same noise texture as this by the looks of it. Like, they're just coloured. Isn't it? It's just that noise texture, but brown. So can we change the hue of something? Honestly, how do I change the hue? Like, colorize something like that. Are we possibly drawing things backwards? Is a good question. So we've got the books on the right, and then there, right? So that's our... Yeah, they're all being drawn backwards as well. Yeah, everything's being backwards. You're right. Thank you. It's hard to know sometimes because things... So what's where... And 0. Thank you very much for pointing that out. The ceiling and the floor aren't the problem. It's just the walls. But we'll find out with the ceiling and the floor. Now it's the right way around. We come out of it, we can see it pretty cool. And we can get rid of the whiteness. We can go complete black now, I think, with the clear color. So let's go like 10. It's just slightly off black. Not completely black, just off. Yeah. And one interesting thing we could do with the camera, like you could have a walking, like, like if you ever had that in old Minecraft, right? But this is not bad, in my opinion, for like a dungeon crawler. with the floor, we could also doubly check that by doing like 16 again. Look, now it feels like a real dungeon by having that floor, doesn't it? Feels like we've gone back to an old dungeon game. Of course, this is the Dungeon 3D in like really bad spelling, but 4 would be this jazzy tile, like we're in a disco now, or we're in like 2001: Space Odyssey, where he's effectively in like the zoo bit, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Whatever. Odd sci-fi references for people. You can see it doesn't look bad at all, to be honest with you. We could always add lighting to this eventually as well, but I'm not going to. But like, this is the point with making stuff like this, is it does kind of work. I and J. So there's some... We've got some now crates in here. These are quote-unquote crates. But they're not crates, because we haven't drawn the crate yet, have we? So this is going to be the crate texture, but we need to... does anybody know how I can change the hue of this? Because clearly this was the noise map I used, and then just drew over it. So... Seriously, does anybody know? Is it not even possible with this, or you just have to draw out? Because the other option is to just copy and paste this again. Do that. And then just draw it manually with a pencil. So where's the... I don't know the tools. There's an eyedropper. Pencil. So this is 8, 9, 10. We're in number 10 for this, okay? How do I export quickly? Like a quick export. Yeah, I'll override that, it's fine. So a crate has texture 10. Okay, they're the crates, quote unquote. Yeah, I think 20 is still a bit too... not enough. Let's go for 30. Much better. Okay, so we've got those crates, some crates here, but they don't look like crates yet. Right? I want to kind of just... eyedropper. Pencil tool. You know where these lines are? Just kind of like get rid of them. I want another eyedropper. That color. And just like fill in the gaps to make it look a little bit more random. So now it looks kind of random. Yeah? That's so Raven. That's so random. So now we want to go for probably a slightly darker color. Like that. Just to make a nice little outline for it. Yeah, that looks good. And then we want to kind of have a slash going down it, right? People going like, don't you know you could draw a line tool? And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I'm doing it kind of old-fashioned style. So then I want to lighten up that entire section. So we're going to go a bit lighter colors here. No, let's go a bit, still light and orange. Because that's what... But I kind of need another layer. Or something. Just to... Oh, it doesn't matter. We're just going to paint this. Completely solid. Yeah. We'll go back to the game. Look, so there's some amazing textures for that crate. But they don't look good because it's this color here. So we just need to lighten it up, that section. Right? Blur tool might work. Actually, the blur tool isn't that bad. As long as I don't hit the actual like border, which is what I've just made. Yeah, save, rebuild. There you go, there's some crates in the game. Notice the thing on top isn't the right texture. There we go. We've got crates in this game, we must be a real game now. Yeah, that doesn't look too good because it looks a little bit too like polished. And I'm just going to add some darkening around the thing itself, right? Then do an eyedropper, back to the pencil tool, and add some brightness into this, as well as into there. It's probably a little bit too much not there, so I'm going to just do like that. Not bad, I'd say, right? But not, I don't like those little dots I've just put on there, so I need to blur them out again. Not bad, right? For saying we don't need to do anything. We could do fireballs. Now, guess what? In my old game, I had some fireballs. And you may be like, nah, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. This is what you sound like, by the way, to me, in my mind. I had some sprites. So if I just copy that image, bring across, right? And I had a... Look at all these different things I had. Like, look, these were little mages I drew, and like, these were the baddies. And look, I had some, like, a hand. It was like, oh god, this is just a weird thing. But there were fireballs, I remember that. But like, those were the sprites. And then I had some particles I did. Aha, that was it. These were the sprites I had, and had animations on them and everything. Look at that. Look at all that. So I had some fireballs, some green fireballs, I drew these. These were like the most randomest drawings I ever did. But they had animations to them. So what we can do is, before I even add them in, I'm going to do the selection tool. And we see these gravelly bits. We don't need any of this. And we don't really need any of that. Nor, wait. Oh, fuck. No. No. No, that's not what I meant. Do that. I'm just deleting all of the lines. That's fine. So when we do copy in these animations, I mean, like, which ones should we keep? We can go... like that, right? So you wanted fireballs, right? We're now getting them. But now the problem is, with our rendering system... Still a rogue line, yeah, you're right. Goodbye, rogue line. Thank you. We've now got our own little fireball thing. And look, there's actually some like artifacts I had in between by the looks of it. From my old game. I didn't even notice. But hey presto, goodbye old game. So now what we can do is have the different blobs be different colors. So these ones could be just the same thing but in yellow. And these could be in white. And then we are get them like grayscaled, if you know what I mean. But I'm just going to keep them like that. Orange and green. So these are the animations for the blobs. But the problem with the animations for blobs as you may know, obviously everybody knows this problem. I need some billboards. So a billboard is effectively a texture which, a quad that always faces you. This is going to be really difficult to do because it means I have to do some math. Okay, so we draw billboard, okay? And I'm not going to put a texture thing in here yet, but I need the position of it, the thing, and then I need the eye. Which is everywhere the player position is, right? This is where things are going to get fun, right? So we need to have a billboard somewhere in this list. So it's going to be at like position 3, 3. Put the atlas in there. And then I need to put the player position in there as well. That's going to be camera.position.xz. Or is it ZX? No, it's going to be XZ. I think. But we don't know what we've got yet, right? So we need to have something which does the thing and does the right projections. It's a real shame, and if physicists don't know math, it's like, I'm going to show you how to do the math live on stream as well, because it's not difficult. It's quite simple. So, luckily, we know the billboard. We know that the y-axis is going to be fine. But it's the XZ axis. So we have Z and X here for the time being. It doesn't really matter. We've got the player, which is, we're going to call this the eye, the camera, whatever you want to say what it is. And then we've got the position of the billboard. Now, the position is, we're going to have to be very careful with this. We're going to have to be, if the position's here, then the quad line comes here. And then this has got to be, effectively, wherever the eye is, so for this point here, we need to figure out, this is why I said it's going to be a little bit difficult. So I'm going to do a different color for this, like this nice salmon color. We need to have, we need to know the size of the billboard, which is always going to be 1. So it's got to be here. So the eye is looking at the center of this. Yeah? That's got to form a right angle. And then we've got an angle to deal with. So in the world position, this is where things get a little bit tricky, right? Because the position of the thing is, we're saying it's here, right? But no, we could cheat. We could actually make this even simpler. So we don't even do the point there. We could say the point is in the center of a tile, yeah? And then we're rendering it outwards. So for most people, you may have realized what this is already going to be. There's an angle. Let's call that phi. Well, this direction, well, just to get that direction, this is going to be a sine phi. And then this direction is going to be the cosine phi. But no, that's not right, because this is the angle we've got here, but we need to get this angle. But guess what? We know that this is phi as well. So we've got some lovely things about our rotations that we can do. So it's just a general, literally a really simple rotation. A 2D rotation is what it will be. So guess what? We're getting pulling out our cosines and sines everywhere to do it. And by the way, that means we've got to re-render another thing. But with a billboard, we know they're only going to be like 1 pixel, not pixel, 1 meter high. We're doing meters, right? So if we just do copy the code for the wall, we've got the index already. Index, and then we're going to do... Did I get rid of a sprite? Yeah, I did, accidentally. So 0, 8, 16, 24, 32. Let's do 33, shall we? Yeah? Just to be correct. And now it's always going to be, quote unquote, south facing. Yeah? It hasn't got a height. Because we haven't, but the height is the position, right? Yeah. So that's going to be position.z. Oh no, it's not. We'll just say it's got no height, yeah? For the time being, yeah? It'll make it simpler. Where the hell is this? So we're drawing a billboard. So let's get rid of all the crates. Let's get rid of the column. And let's do the billboard. I don't see it, do you? Because it might be the wrong number. So just to make it clear, we've got a billboard. And let's do the same number as like a bookcase was. So 25. Okay, it was the wrong number. So we've got it facing kind of in the right direction, but it's clearly not a billboard. If we were raycasting, this would be trivial. But notice what we've got here is we do have the eye position and then the actual position where we're rendering it in the world. So, by the way, I think what we've actually done with the position coordinates is we've done a left-handed coordinate system accidentally. Whoops. There, we're fine. This is just for fun, right? This is not actually like I'm being correct, but it just means I've got to remember what I'm doing. So we've got these things, and now we need to figure out the angles to rotate all of this by. Okay? So we know what the position is in position Y, so that's going to be 0. But then those are all going to be added offsets, right? So A, B, C, D, add position.x, position.y. Yeah? Great, but now we need to rotate these around that point. So we need to get a rotation matrix going on, effectively, to multiply these coordinates. So, and in fact, instead of doing A, B, and C, and D, we could just do P and 4. Guess what? It would have been easier if I did that from the start, but I am not that smart. Right? So then when we go through everything, we can just loop it round and just rotate every single one. So for each C in P, C is now going to be the XY position. Is it XY? No, it's going to be the XZ position, I should say. So the X position is going to get rotated by a certain amount, which is going to be determined by the distance for this. So this will be the dp, going to be the I minus the position. So now it gets to the X and Y coordinates. So then it just needs to be math. We need to import math. And then we need to get into that. I'm making a guess, actually, in this case. So it's going to be an angle. It's going to be dpx over... so 8 is going to be math. A tan 2. I think it's dpx, dpy in this case. It might be wrong. 8 tan 2. So then when we get to that, we then need to just do a rotation matrix of those two coordinates. So... I know this is not technically even the good way of doing it, because I'm just trying to get rid of the singularity problems, if you have it, if you know what I mean. We're going to just make it, let's call this the matrix. Matrix 2 by 2, F32. Let's call that S and C, so math dot. Isn't there a sine cosine in math? Like that. So that's going to be sine, cosine, negative sine, cosine. This may even be wrong, by the way. But I'm just going to do it anyway. Oh, that is probably well wrong. Can I just disable... what is it? Disable back face culling. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want to see if it is even being rendered. Okay, so there is one there. And it is kind of... Look, it is kind of rotating. Yeah, I've got rotation. I just need some strafing in here, by the way. It's actually kind of annoying me. There's no strafe. Q and E. Movement Z. 1. Okay, I've got that wrong. So I've got some strafing. And you can see what I'm doing, right? Did I get that right this first time? Or kind of. I just think it's backwards, isn't it? So I've got the angle 180 degrees off. Which means it's not wrong. There is another option, right? We just figure out which way the camera's viewing. That's another option. So I'm doing it relative to this thing. So it's not like an old-fashioned, like it's plastered correctly. This is effectively following the person around, but in a very dodgy way. Like, look at that. That's quite dodgy. Like, would you want that in a game, or would you want it to be the same axis of direction that you're looking at, effectively? Which, if that's the case, then we do need the camera direction. So let's call this camera deux. And the camera deux target, because they've updated those two parameters when we do it. Like that, yeah? Okay, that's good. But what we need to do is we've got the position. So the position needs to be offset. They all need to be off by like 0.5. Yeah, just the X needs to be off by 0.5. So now we've got that there. But then what we can do is add... Once we've got it in that center, we can then add it again at the end. Or we just make sure to render it in the right place, I think. If you know what I mean. Yeah, we just add 0.5 to the end of the position. So that looks like it's actually the right way around. So if I enable the culling now, it should be, yeah, it's fine. So that is kind of, look, it's at the same angle as the camera now. So it's always been, it's not proper billboard like it's facing the camera, it's facing whichever direction the camera's in. By the way, I made sure I've got the right thing, the right time this way as well. So that's kind of a billboard. So now we've got that, we need to go back to our billboard thing. And we can give it a 3-dimensional position, so we could also give it a height. We could just give it a camera in there, to be honest with you. Yeah? Like so. I'm going to put the camera first on all of that, so then I can actually just do another, like another billboard thing. So we've got the camera first, index U8, like so. We said 25, but we don't want 25. What do we want? There's 25, 24, 32, 33 shall we aim for? Right? I don't see anything. Is that because the texture's even being updated? No, it's not. Export as. Yes, I do want to. Now, there it is. Oh, there's some random dots in that, and I didn't mean to do that. Eyedropper. And then I need to do the pencil tool, do that. And then I need to do file, export, save as. I need a shortcut for that, to be honest with you. Right, that's good. And then we need like a height offset as well for our billboard. And that height offset is just that. That's all it is. And what I'm going to do is going to do a math times a sine. Or no, let's do cosine. Yeah, cosine is going to be a nicer number. And it's going to be the time. So get time. All right, let's just do that for the time. Oh, not math, I meant RL. Yeah, and it's going negative. So what we need to do here, so let's just do H. Yeah. So we know that sine goes between -1 and 1, so we do that. Plus 0.5. Guess what? We could have done that is it's fine. So let's just make the frequency like 3. Quite nice actually doing that. That looks pretty cool to me. But here's another thing we could do. We could do the same trick that we had originally. We could take this time. Now we know this runs between 32 to 8. So it's going to be some number 32 plus 8, right? So what we can do here is we can take time. We can say, let's call this offset. I'm going to put this all frame offset. And that's going to be math.mod times by our frame rate again, which just do 15 frames per second. Yeah? And then we want to do that by 8. There's 8 frames in there. Frame offset. We can see that's going too fast. So let's go literally 8 frames per second. Yeah? Pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. It's like a blurry orange potato. You're right. It's my amazing drawing skills. We're going to probably good, isn't it? Right? We've been doing this 2 hours. I think I'll be done in a few minutes. It's nearly midnight. But what we can also do here is just to make it kind of clear what's going on. We could do, if we do 4i, we don't want to do the full thing. So let's just do certain, yeah, let's just do everything, yeah? Let's just do the full shebang again for the full area. I'm going to do this, right? And then we do if rand int max, let's say 30 equals 3, doesn't equal 3, then we continue. Right? Then we can put the position in there. So we've got I and J. Oh, is that all there was? Okay, so 30 was, let's go a bit more common, so 15. So there are some being rendered here. Look at that. But they don't look all right, right? Because you want them all to be different, like, heights and different things. So you want a kind of a different number. So guess what we can do? Because we're using random numbers and we're using the right seed every single time, we can do let's do, we got W there, so we can say that's W for omega, right? Rand float 32, did I call it a float 32 range? And we're going to go between 2 and 5, I think. Yeah? So then we need also a phase. So let's call that phi. So the phase is going to be anywhere between negative 4 and plus 4. Yeah, looks pretty good. Then what we need is some other general phase, which will be a time phase. Yeah, so we do another plus 4 on everything. Oh, that wasn't actually a good idea. So the time phase, we don't want to do plus 4. We just want it to do between 0 and 4. Yeah? It looks like there's some... like it's actually poorly rendered. Oh, it doesn't got any depth alpha testing. There's no alpha tester going on. So, blend mode... how do I do this? Yeah, look, there's no alpha testing going on here now. So how the heck are we doing alpha testing is my question. Because last time we had to modify the shader to do it. I have not a 1440p monitor, I have a 2160p monitor. So this is actually a 1080p display render here. So if I did 1440p, you guys, to see if that's bigger for you maybe. Yeah, so it's rendering the particles, but the problem with the particle rendering here is the alpha testing isn't correct. Look. It's just overriding everything. Which is a common problem. We had the exact same problem last time. Right? Where these things are being, like, offset a bit. The other thing we could also do is we could also add, like, to the number... we could add a 32 to this. So we could do a U... no, we could do a U8. Yeah, math, rand... oh, no, it's going to be int 32 max. And then we're going to do... oh, flipping heck. There can be... 0, 1... How many different particles have we got? 4. So it's 4 times 32. Int max... oh no, it's I31, isn't it? Because that's because of the... it's not math, it's in rand. 3? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Let's call that index. And if we do another 32 in there, another 8. Oh, I'm a moron. I know what I've done wrong. U8 math. No, rand int max, and there's 4 of them. Times that by 8. Yeah, I know. I already figured out before you said it. So now we've got a different particle thing going on here. But the problem is we still have the alpha testing problem like we had from last time. Right? Like, look, this thing gets rendered first, so it blocks it out. This is actually a really hard problem for some GPUs and how it does its depth sorting. So you have to it's one of those, like, it's not a simple thing to solve. The simple way I was going to do it is I just modify the bloody shader like I did last time. and just copy and paste that shader from last time, which was that one. And then we just literally just copy and paste that shader. So copy. Res. Paste. We need to load a shader up. Load shader. I said tiles. Why not? It's the same. They are kind of tiles, right? Yeah. And then we've got the shader stuff to deal with. So begin shader mode. And we're only going to be in the shader mode when we do the billboard stuff, right? RL begin shader mode, shader. And then we can end it here once we've done it. And all we did there with the last one is we were discarding things. So now it's kind of working. Good enough for our needs, right? Pretty cool, right? Okay, is it a blending problem or depth problem? It's both, actually. This is actually a really hard problem to solve. It is actually a hard problem fundamentally. It's like a depth and blending at the same time is a pain, like an actual pain. So, yeah. But like, this is not bad for saying this has been 2 hours and 20 minutes plus some technical things. So yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes ish, nearly less than that. I think we need to render that column again and those crates. I think. Where's the... Oh, I just got some random text I put in. So we've got some random crates back again. And oh yeah, I wanted some columns in as well, didn't I? So... We can get rid of this old comment stuff because that's the old code. We can modify the floor a little bit. But I don't like that one actually. Let's go for 0 again. The walls look pretty good. We've got a nice little bookcase here. But the thing about the bookcase is we can do some kind of cool stuff to it. But yeah, this is looking like a nice little dungeon crawler. And you can see what you can do to prototype. By the way, this is like I've done this in... You've seen me live on stream doing everything except the art because I just copied it from an old project. But you could have copied yours from anywhere. It doesn't really matter for getting prototype up and running. This is actually a pretty cool thing, if you know what I mean. Put it bluntly. Like, you can see how quickly you can prototype things, make a game. Like, games don't take long. If you can't do this, what I've just done, in a few hours, not saying it's only 2 hours, I'm on stream kind of talking to you guys. Like, you can get sort of stuff sorted, right? It's pretty nice. So we can go, let's go a bit faster than 10. Look at that. We could also change the scale of those particles effects as well. Right? I think the animation needs... Some of it needs to be faster. Some of them. Some of them are slow. And some of them we need to change the height range as well. Let's change that to be the amplitude. The amplitude is going to be between 0.1 and 0.9. Yeah? Zero 0.1 is a little bit too little, so let's go for like 0.3. But some look, they're coming out of that. Looks pretty good to me, right? The Ginger Bill with the Odin Pro language. Yes, indeed. Yes, I am. It is that Ginger Bill. Yeah, I know. And clearly I'm ginger, because you can see my ginger beard. So yeah. Yeah, most games, yeah. So it's Kalimian saying in the chat, right, yeah, this is why some games render transparent stuff with their own render pass after the opaque. And yeah, that is actually the case. So mine right here, I'm doing technically its own render pass. And they're doing a really, like, crap one. Like, I'm just doing like, hey, if the alpha's 0, discard. Anything else, just try and blend. And usually you have to do the right sorting and all this lot. It's kind of annoying. It's an annoying problem to solve. But this is kind of like a cool little thing. Yeah? And I guess if you've seen what I've just done now, you could probably figure out how to do this for other things, if you know what I mean. If that makes any sense. Like, you guys could figure out, like, this is effectively 2 draw calls I'm doing, effectively. If we put this in render dot, we could see exactly. But, like, look at that. It's running. And I could just do the strafe as well. Da, 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 da. Turn around. Not bad, I don't say. Not bad at all. That bookcase, it needs some variation to it. So, draw column. Yeah, I'm gonna call that draw bookcase rather than a column. The index was 25, right? And then what we've also got is we've got some crates, right? These are just like simple, the height's only 1. But then we can do the offset as well. So wall, and then we've got height offset here. So height offset, that's going to be 0. That, right? So what I can say is that the bookcases, they can all be height equals 1, like that, right? That's just a bookcase, but they're going to be 2 height. So we need to draw it twice again. So they're all going to be heights of 1. And for I equals 0.02 of that. Height offset equals I. So now it's 2. That's great. But this ID needs to be slightly different for every single one, right? So we need to do a random choice. And then these are the IDs from that thing. So we have IDs. Yeah, so we have 25, 24, 25, 26, and 27, I think it was. And now they're a little bit more randomized as to the bookcase. Yeah? Looks kind of like a decent bookcase now. And so we can just plaster this bookcase probably near the walls as well, actually. So we could probably put this along like one of the walls. So for I equals -4 to +4, they're all F32s. Yeah. Put that I there. So now we've got an entire wall of bookcases. Right? And they're not gone from 5 to 5, just 4 to 4, I think. So we can still get... No, we can go from 5 to 5. There's no problem with that. And then we can put that on a wall like 5. So now you can see you've got an entire wall of bookcases. It's not a wall, it is a bookcase. And some of them we can just ignore. So if I don't know. If we can do the random thing again, right? Rand trick. We only need to render some of them, not all of them. Right? Now they're in the wall. So we don't need them completely in the wall. There we go. We've got some bookcases, but there's not enough variation in my opinion because they've got the same for each height. Which that shouldn't be the case because when I draw the bookcases, they should be choosing a different random one every single time. They should be. But they are. I think the guess they are. It's just it is completely random. If you're curious, everybody, I do sometimes do visual debugging tools, but I'm not really doing anything like crazy at the moment. And by the way, when people say this Minecraft aesthetic, it's just kind of like low pixel art. Like these are 16 by 16 textures. So it's kind of Minecrafty. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, there we go. This is pretty fun. I say that's this is a success so far for the bookshelves. Look at that. And in fact, let's get the let's draw most of them, but not all of them. Let's go a bit more. Let's go 5. It's never going to be equal to that. So let's just do evens. But it looks like it got less when I was doing that. Yeah, it's weird. Interesting though. Like, look, it's a lovely, nice little bookshelf now, right? Pretty cool, right? Yeah. So I think that's done for a night streaming. You can see how fun. This is just having fun. Clearly, I'm just having fun. But interesting. Some of the walls only get the random stuff, but they don't. It's kind of weird, like the random number generator is really. You can see they get rendered on that side as well, but wasting all those beautiful like stuff to render. We could also add some more randomness to this because we can have an offset to this. Rand.float that. That's going to be between 0.1 and 0.7. Yeah, so that's, we want them to be a bit like, yeah, anywhere between. No, we don't want it to be too like that. It only needs to be ever so slightly out between that. So it just needs to be X. We just need that to be M. Let's call it M. The 0.4 and 0.6. Anywhere between that, because then they'll look a bit. Or maybe 3 and 7. Yeah, 3 and 7 is probably not bad. Yeah. And then we've got an animation speed. So 8 frames per second is probably enough. Let's go 12. No, 8 was fine, actually, to be honest with you. This is a sound see. I'm just checking to see if there's any crates being rendered here, and there isn't, luckily. But what do people think? What do people think so far? This actual like beauty of a game controlled with just a mouse and keyboard. There's not even mouse, just the keyboard. What do you think? Aesthetically pleasing, I think so, but yeah. So questions. I'm not going any more, probably. This is about it. Just need to add achievements and ready for Steam. It's perfect. The objective of this game is there's no collision detection because I didn't add that in this stream. I was having fun with everything else. We had collision detection last stream, right? This was last stream. Yeah, we did this on last stream. Look, we had collision detection with all of the columns and the walls and the crates. Look, there's a crate there. There's a crate. Look, there's a crate. Yeah? So we did have collision detection. Clearly, I can prove I can do it. I don't think anyone's doubting that I could do collision detection. But you know what I mean. Right? The collision detection on this wouldn't be difficult. You'd just go, oh, hitting up. So it would just be effectively, you'd have, not a block, but you'd do a capsule against these quads. Yeah. Some really hard-hitting things these are. So I think that I'm calling that a night. Because that's, it's past midnight now, so it's past my bedtime, obviously. So let's go to just the camera now. So I hope people found that quite enjoyable, actually, because I enjoyed myself doing that. I've not done this in quite a while, just make some silly game, quote unquote games, just quickly like this. And yeah, it's something that I'm showing, like how I program, how I think about prototyping mainly. Because this is it, it's just prototyping. It's not good code. If anyone thought this was good code, I'm sorry to let you down. I also noticed I kept changing coding conventions as well. I was doing Pascal case in one case and snake case in another, because I was, yeah, it's clearly not consistent. But it's kind of how my mind works as well. So hopefully people found that interesting, at least. I hope. If you have any questions before I go, please ask them in the chat. They are literally here on the screen. Hello, look at that. Wait. There. Ta-da. Oh, we got a raider. Right, we're about to go. So I don't know who has raided the chat and where from. Oh, it's the Primogen. Right, hello. Damn it, I was about to go to bed. But if I'm going to bed, we can show you some cool games, because look, this is what we were working on, right? This is an amazing game, just to let you know what we were doing. Oh well, I guess I'm not going to bed now. Thank you very much. Thank you much, the Primogen, for raiding the stream. So we're working on this random thing today. So last night's stream as well, we had this wonderful game. And last night's stream, we also had a random game which I worked on, which was this. So look, we've got a little isometric game with nice rendering. And it did all the collision detection. Like, I didn't look, collision detection, it's got animations. If I let him idle, he'll randomly pick something up. See? He randomly picked something up. And it all worked as you'd expect. So that's kind of looking beautiful. But then today's stream, we just thought I'd do a 3D dungeon crawler with a very, some people are calling it a Minecraft aesthetic. Yeah, these are all of my own assets. This one is, and the other one wasn't, but this one is. And it's kind of crazy. Yeah, Primogen is making games, I guess. I know he's making a game at the moment. He's trying to make his own tower defense game. It's an ASCII style one that everyone's going to be playing, isn't it? There's kind of a crazy thing going on. But mine, I'm just messing around. I guess if I'm not going to bed now, if I'm not, then we could probably add some collision detection so I don't go straight through a wall like this and go, look, oh wow, I've gone past everything. Isn't that great? Yeah? So this is the perfect timing, I know, right? So the way I'm thinking about doing collision detection, originally I was going to do like a cylinder, so a sphere and squares. But I think the simpler way is I just have a smaller square with squares and do the collision detection the same way we did previously. Right? So we can nick that code or just rewrite it again. It's not really that problem. But we know where everything is in the world. Everything is a box. It's dead simple. If we know the position of one, we know the size of the other one. And we've got the position of the character as well, which is a box. They're all boxes. Like this one is all a box, right? But these boxes are actually a little bit weird. So if we showed the game from yesterday, I just shut him down. We did have some, well, I did. Yeah, here. These were showing the collision boxes. So notice these are just boxes, but they're all like rotated slightly to match the world. But it's the same test. Like we're just doing a normal rectangle test. It's just the way that we are, there's two different types of coordinate systems going on. Like this coordinate system is slanted, right? Like even though it's still 2D, it's a slanted coordinate system. So your X is going in the way is running right now. That's X. And that was positive Y. So that's positive X, positive Y. Which doesn't map to what my keypad's doing. But that's kind of what it works. But yeah, it's kind of getting there. Oh, sorry, the Sublime theme. So Sublime theme, if people want to know, it's Dale Reed's Fresh Cut Contrast. I've been using it for about a decade now. It's fine. I've gotten used to it. Okay. So this is kind of thing. Do loads of questions here. Clearly, it's like so many hundreds of people on stream. Thank you, the Primary Jam, for raiding. I didn't even expect this just before I was about to go to bed. But it says due to transfers, you got to say I've just started out trying Odin. Oh, thank you if you're enjoying Odin. That's wonderful. Do you reckon transfer coordinate system and checks and the checks and do the checks in the isometric space? Yeah, so we do it in isometric space. All the checks, all those collision detections are isometric space coordinates. We're just rendering it in the Cartesian coordinates after that, right? So it's dead simple. It's midnight. I was about to go to bed, but then I got raided, and I think, look, I'm going to stay around just for another half an hour, just to say hello, really, and show you what we're doing. So we might just add some collision detection to our quote-unquote game, right? At the moment, not so good. We now need to add some collision detection, which isn't difficult, right? We've got the boxes. Every time we've got a crate, that's it. And every time we've got a bookcase, that's a place. So we now need to add, let's call this hit boxes, right? It's going to be a dynamic array, dead simple, of our rectangles. This is Raylib rectangles, right? And then I'm just going to defer delete these at the end. Yeah. We're then going to handle, after we've done this, we're going to handle the position. So we do it here effectively. So I'm going to put the rand at the start. Every single frame. Dead simple. For box in hitbox like that. And then I'm going to, once we've handled them all, we can just get rid of them. But then we can add them as we need. So we know we've got a crate. Yeah. We now need a rectangle. That's IJ11 because they're all the same size, obviously. And when we have a bookcase, for some reason I've just done that. Now they're all the hitboxes. We've got a character position, which is just the camera, position, by the way. So we need to do the let's call this just call this player hitbox. Yeah. So the player hitbox is going to be a little bit different. So the position is going to be just make sure it's in here. It's X and width, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So rectangle, right? Let's just define the rectangle. So we're gonna have 0, 0, and then the width. We're gonna be a smaller box. So instead of if we get my amazing drawing program out here, right? In world space, this is, let's say this is a unit cube. So this is the 0, 0 space, right? And there's the 1, 1 space. Well, the player, if he's centered here, we want a smaller box. So this is effectively, that's the position, but his rectangle is going to be offset by this width here to get to the start, and then there's the width. And I think we're going to do the width as like 0.5 and 0.5. So he's not, right, not being rude. If you meet someone who is literally a whole meter wide, because I'm using meters like Minecraft, that guy's a fat bloke. Very fat if he's a meter wide. For, yeah, 39 inches wide if you want to do like Imperial. That's one way of thinking about it. It's a massive bloke, right? But I think, how big is my shoulders, I think, right? Let's just think that. I've got broad shoulders anyway, but I don't know. You can't see proportions. I'm just about 3 heads wide. There we go, 3 heads wide. What's a width of a bloke? Let's say he's about conversion set. I can do inches if you want. I'm just doing everything meters because Minecraft was meters, right? I'm English. I can do either unit system. It's not a problem. So let's just pretend he is... Let's say... Oh, God. I'm trying to think. Let's go for 0.4, shall we? That seems reasonable to me. And in fact, that means these need to be 0.2. 0.2. And then we have the hitbox created. So then what we have to do is now we do the collides. We do a hitbox collision rectangle. So if any of these hit, so if the player hitbox collides with the box, then we need to get the collision rectangle, right? This is the resolving one between these two things. Now, if we just copy yesterday's code, we knew it worked. So let's just do it, shall we? And what's people saying? Do metric. I don't care. I'm doing metric because it's Minecraft. But yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, fine. So if we look at how I did, you can't see this, but I'm going to like, this is magical, right? In my head. The character goes, yeah, play first here. We got the diff. Let's call this the diff. So if the diff width is greater than the diff height, we have to do one set of logic. If not, we do the other. If the diff dot is greater than the box, than that, then we need to do the camera position. Oh God, no, because. Oh no, that's right. Dot y is the diff dot height. Else, it's going to be the negative position. Then this one is going to be the dot x's. So we've got to get dot x. Oops, I didn't mean that. We do that. So, they're raylib, of course. I didn't put the raylib stuff in there. Camera dot position. What? Oh, negative equals. It's an expression without, I meant negative equals. So this one, I'm hitting straight through a box. Because I don't think any of these ever hit. So to prove that's the case, we're going to say any collision, right? And if we got any collision, we can render it. So draw text 10 100 100. Where the hell does the text go? There's any text. What is draw text? We need to put some text. Collision. Position. 30. Font size. Color. Let's do magenta again, because magenta is always good. Right? Yeah, no collisions are happening. So we get the hitboxes. And we do actually append hitboxes as we go along. Interestingly. So we do append them. But they might not be right. That's the thing. Might not be. So that's kind of the fun thing. Illegal amount of indentation. No, I love. Okay, so people with clear on the Primogen. I'm going to do kind of Primogen answers. I am a bloke who likes 8 wide indentation. The tabs. So if you guys want it to be rendered as 4, there you go. But I like 8. Makes it feel a bit more spaced. It prevents me from nesting too much. I'm not a never nester. It's just more of a. It's clear there's quite a lot of nesting here already. It's just more of a reduces it. So yeah, it's kind of doing that. Was there a bounding box set for those objects? Yeah, there is. So there are bounding boxes. So to prove this is going like insane, there should be loads, right? This should just spam the, yeah, there's loads. Look, there's loads showing me off the width and the height and everything like that. But for some reason, I don't think any of them are ever hitting the bounding boxes here, right? And that's because I'm absolute, won't say that word, but an idiot. There we go. Ah! What the? Yeah. Collision. 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 So we've got collision now, right? So we need to just say the world size as well. So we have got collision detection, guys. Really simple, that is. But there's another way of doing it. So we need to add some extra hitboxes for the actual world around this. So the world has got some. Like, I'm just going to do the hackiest thing in the world. In the world, right? So it's effectively going to be a giant hitbox on each of the walls. So if we go from -5, -5, and then it's 10 wide, right? Oh, no. That was in a. I'm probably not in the world correctly, am I? So if I say -3, I'm like, I'm in the world now, but I can't get back in. So that means it wasn't in the right position, I think, for that hitbox. Yeah, -5, -6. Oh, that's a massive hitbox. Oh yeah, I'm a moron. So that's not the way the hitbox is. It's there. Okay? I can't get any closer to it. So which means I'm probably... Yeah, there is a hitbox. And I can go around it. And I won't be able to hit it from the other side now. Which is like, okay, so it's slightly off. Like that hitbox does need to be shifted back a bit, right? So let's try -6 this time. Yeah, there we go. Good. So then we've got another hitbox, which is going to be on the other wall. Right, so we've got that wall, and it'll be here. No, so it wasn't -6 in that case. It's going to be... It's an off by 1 bug, right? I've got 2 off by 1s. So you got that one. Oh, yeah, we got it. So they've got one wall there. Another wall there. So now we've got to do the other 2 walls. Right? And they should be relatively simple because you just swap these numbers around. So we should have a wall there. So it says collision. We should have a wall here that says collision. Look at that. We did it. We got all these lovely hitboxes. And yes, we're not doing the... and we've got hitboxes with these crates. We've got hitboxes with the bookcases, but not with the particle system. This is an amazing particle system we've got here, by the way. Yeah. Let's boost the particles up, actually, because there's not enough particles, in my opinion. So let's go to 6. A lot more particles. Look at that. They're all dancing. They're all dancing. And we've got collision detection, guys. So we're now stuck in this room forever. No getting out. But I think that hitbox of about 0.4 seemed about right. Even with the FOVs of quite... What did I set the FOV to be? Like 90 degrees, so 60. We did 45. Yeah, it looks a bit much further up. So if we did 90 as our FOV... Oh, the room looks huge now. Look, now it feels like we're doing a boomer shooter. Ooh. Ooh. But we're not moving fast enough for a boomer shooter. Now, let's... Like, if we're not doing... Let's say a FOV of 150. Wow. Going through speed. Look at that. Whoa. No, I don't think it's high enough. Let's go 179. There we go. Now we know it's actually like really penetrating the speed of light. I don't think that's high enough. I think we need to like put more 9s on the end. Yeah, that's not rendering anymore. It's Quake Pro for real. Sorry, I should have warned people. This is not going to go well. Me messing around with 90, I think, is a little bit too much, actually. For this game, it is. Let's try 70. 70 seems okay, actually. Because originally I was just dealing with 60, and 60 is a bit... I don't know, 60 kind of feels okay, actually. You know, I'm not moving very fast, so we could probably increase the movement speed a little bit. To like 8. Double it up. Nah, too much. Let's go in between. But yeah, this is effectively... I've just effectively made a screensaver. Also, for the walls, I've just realised... when I draw a wall... We've got a different choice of these different weights. So I didn't have enough... I don't think there was like enough of this moss everywhere, personally. But that's because there's only on like 2 of the walls. So this will be... wall IDs. This would just give the different weightings, obviously. So I was wondering, like, why have I only got moss on some of the walls and others? Because I just told it to do that, obviously. Yeah. So they got some moss on those walls, moss on those walls. The floor looks a bit boring, to be honest with you. Let's go back to doing the wooden floor. Like that. Or we could even just do a math rand choice. Sorry, not math. Random choice. U8 of 0 and 8 and 9 in there. Just to... Sorry, wrong syntax. There, look at that. Bit random. Let's put a 1 in there as well. Now we're getting there. We got a nice little random floor. It's looking good. And also, by the way, I did hit collision detection from behind. Oh, wow. It snaps you. It snaps you back. What the? Oh, it's because it's rotating me to kind of like do the axis alignment, I guess. Yeah, don't go backwards. Because it just kind of changes the... That's a nice bug. Okay? Didn't really think that through. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like it. Like some people saying Wolfen 3D guys. Yeah, but it's not a raycaster technically. I've done raycasters before. And in fact, I think for the game that I wrote these old textures for, because I just copied from an old day, it was a Ludum Dare game, right? That was a full-on raycaster. I just did a whole raycaster for Ludum Dare. In fact, I might be able to find the game, because I think it might even work. Okay, luckily there's no audio, because I remember this killing my audio, and I got it working in one ear. So let's find the game with these textures and see if it's even playable still. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's still playable. Let's go full screen. Oh, wow. Oh, want to escape? Wow, okay. Yeah, look, this is actually a proper raycaster, by the way. You can tell. I'm too weak to go. But I've placed a portal. Yeah. With the magic I had left. Go kill the High Mage. Okay. Now, I don't remember the controls. It was space, and then I can choose spells. Okay, that's easy enough. So I actually did this in the web browser. So it was like, oh, look, how do I get there? And I'm like, oh, it's a hidden thing. Look at this. Look at this raycasting as well. We even got fog rendering in here. This is state of the art. Oh, look, there's a portal. Look, and you can go back through the portal if we want to. I can hear the sound, and bloody hell is that loud. Very loud. Okay, so we've got a scroll. So we've got a new spell, Ignis Flammer. Okay. If I... Oh, no, I'm being hit by something. Ah! Die, mage. So you can see what the particle vector is doing, right? And by the way, this is a full-on raycaster, this was. Pretty cool, right? That's where I got the textures from. I don't think I was doing a raycast for the hit detection. Like, it was just going everywhere. Oh, look. What's that? I got some mana back. Oh, okay. So this is even small. Like, everyone's like one tile high. So this is really like more mana. I get a new spell. Terramat. Okay, so I can swap between them as well. Oh, no. I want the green stuff. I don't know what the differences were for this game, but there were differences, right? Oh, no. It's fire. 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 Yeah, I'm about to die. Oh, that was close. Oh, my health does automatic regen, though. That's actually pretty nice. I got the water spell. Okay. And my mana does as well. Okay. So I actually did an easy mode for this game, really. Oh, look, there's a secret thing we learned. And look, we can get some more mana. We can get through here to get some more mana. Oh, so they're trying to shoot me through the walls. That's not good. Are they behind me? Ow. I got another one. Eris Fus. Ah, okay, so there's all these different... I don't remember what any of this does, and I'm about to die, and I'm dead. So you have been defeated, refresh to try again. So that was my old game, Ludum Dare 33. So I did that in 48 hours, and I just took the textures from that. And it clearly, I wasn't even doing 2 wide. They were just like single wide, like really small. Like that was like Wolfenstein in that regard. So that's where those textures came from, by the way, if you're interested. But yeah, it's kind of getting there, if you know what I mean. It was getting there. Now clearly, the audio was bad. It could play the music, but it was one ear it came out of. I didn't get the audio correct. This is half the problem when you're trying to do, like, I think it was an M scripting thing I was doing, and this is what made me hate M scripting, because I was how much of a bodge it was, because I couldn't even get the audio to work correctly, and I was like, huh? Yeah. Now I'm like, oh no, there's much better ways of doing it. So before I go, when I go, so what do people think I should be doing next? That I can, yeah, the collision detection stuff isn't the best in the world, clearly. It's rotating me around again. When I go backwards. For some reason it doesn't do when I do forwards, but interestingly. Looks pretty cool though, right? You've got to admit, this is a pretty cool madness thing. Alright? But we can go back to the full camera here and just have a little nice chat and see what people are asking about. Because there was a lot of people from the Primogen. And by the way, a lot of you have stayed around. Thank you. Really, thank you very much for staying around. It's kind of, yeah, kind of cool. Yeah, it looks good. This is it. So clearly, this is... All I'm showing is, one, I'm doing, you can do this in Odin and Raylib together. So Odin and Raylib, and see what I've done in an evening. Right? So I've done that in this evening, and I did another in... Where was the other game? This was game 1. And... cancel. What was all... What the heck is that? What? No. No, go away. Go. Right? Very weird. Wait, that's one game. Right? So that was that game. On the other game's over here. So this, sorry, I couldn't remember where I put stuff. So this was the other game that I did work on. So if I did... Let's make it bigger so you guys can see it. So, yes, I've got a massive display. Before you ask. So this was the 2D rendering system. Look at that. Don't look at the bad anti-aliasing. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, thank you. Welcome for GB Math H. Yep, and they're all public domain, so don't worry. And yeah, look at that. And we've got hitboxes I added around stuff, and look, proper hit collision. Look, and rendering is ordering. So this was harder, by the way, than the 3D stuff, in my opinion. Getting this to work rendering is harder than... This is the funny thing. Some people forget that actual 2D stuff is harder than doing the actual 3D math. Because I am using a depth buffer to get around this, but to get it right took me ages. But like the collision detection was simple. But look at that. Look at him walking around and only rendering as if it's a real thing. That was difficult. Odin has OpenGL bindings? Yes, we have Vulkan, Direct 3D, Metal, Web GPU, Raylib, SDL, GLFW. You name it, we actually have it pretty much. We have it all. Yeah, the collision detection on my face is pretty good as well. Like, for instance, I can't go any higher than this frame. Like that's all I'm sticking. If I go... Yep, doesn't work. No, I got through that one. There was a bit of a hole. Yeah, see? Whoa! No, that's fine. But no, there's the... These are things. You can't see the game when I'm talking about, but like, if you look at my game again now, this one here. Sorry, I was talking to myself, I'm doing stuff. But like this is a pretty cool isometric game, so you now can see it, and you can see all the collision detections, all the stuff, and it's working. You can see the Zeb depth thing. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm looking at screens. There's too many screens. Like, there's one big, like, actually, there's a big screen. It's like that big. Yeah, they're all 32-inch 4K monitors. They're just big. Yeah, so there's now a screen. You should see just a bit more. And in fact, Right, one problem I've got with this camera is it looks like I'm slightly off. Like I like to sit where I am, but it doesn't look like I'm in the center. Right? So I don't know what I'm doing, but I could always move it around and go like, hey, and now we're up here, and I'm looking at the game, it looks like. Right? So when I'm looking at it, I'm like going, hey, he's a cool dude. Like look at him. Can you see him? But really, I'm actually like, it's not the right place to put. Like clearly, but in the bottom right is a more traditional place where most people go, right? Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to. Is that the right way? Yeah. Look. Pretend to look up to play and like, I see. Right? That's very, very good. That is very good game. But that's not where my screen is. My screen's right there. So not the right place to do it. Yes. By the way, the Dale Reese themes that I use, there's a it's fresh cut contrast is what I use. So this is the one I've been using for a decade. And what you want is there's two different contrasts, and I go for like the really black one. Yeah, because there's like a really dark contrast one. But yeah, it's like that's the theme. It's a theme. Pick whatever you like. I don't know. I don't really care. It works. Like, look. So this is not a bad little 2D one. So again, I showed I could do this in a few hours on the stream. If I can do it, you can do it too. And just look. Don't be afraid to prototype as well, is what I'm trying to say. Like, just don't be afraid. We got that one. And we've got this one to date. Yeah. It's hunky-dory. We've got collision detection from the behind of the boxes. Just make sure it works from every angle. Yeah. Pretty good in my opinion. Pretty good. So if I do another stream, which I won't be probably doing one tomorrow, by the way. I doubt I'll have a chance. I've got loads of work and other meetings and all that stuff. Like, actually job things to do. Who'd have guessed? The question that I've got for people is if I do another stream, which it could happen tomorrow. Could. Dunno. Probably not. But what should I make next time? What type of game, quote unquote, game? Like, none of these are games. All of these have been walking simulators with collision detection. One's been isometric, 2D isometric, and now one's been 3D. Minecraft style. So what is the next avenue to go down? That's the question now. What shall I do? Really, what shall I do? Now all the thinking. 4 dimensions. I'm liking your thinking. We're going from 2D to 3D now to 4D. We actually could do a Frogger in like 2 hours. Frogger's not even a difficult game. 4D. My problem with 4D, right? Is I'm going to have to teach people group theory. I'm not doing the, oh God, what's his name? Mark, someone who's doing that 4D game. He did 4D toys and everything like that. That's actually a really good game. For people knows, 4D is not actually a joke. 4D toys, here is a lovely 4D game. You have to have VR to play it, by the way. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. And this is actually a lovely 4-dimensional game. Playing. It's just little toys and you see how they work and see how things actually are in the 4 dimensions themselves. Like those two things are looped, but they're not. If in the 4th dimension, they're not looped. It's like yeah, Mark Tenbosch, right. Now, I remember having a discussion with him ages ago. Like, I don't like the geometric approach to teaching this, even though clearly this is the way he derives it and it's the best way of conceiving it. So if it works for him, it's great. For me, like, understanding the properties of, like, this, the geometric construction thing doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for my mind. This is really cool, by the way. I recommend people getting this game if you've got VR. It's worth it, trust me. And one thing they also show you in 4D is there's not just 5 platonic solids, there are 6 platonic hypersolids. 6. And the thing is, there's one of I can't remember which one of the 6 it is, but one of the 6 is not a dual of the 3-dimensional ones. I just don't remember which one it is. Like, I'm going to bore you with bloody geometry at this point now. Oh no, all the views are going to go sky. But like, that's the point. If you want 4D, we could do 4D. I'm not going to be able to do it in a few hours. Yeah, we don't live in the 4 dimensions, other than if you ignore time, obviously. I mean, spatial dimensions. But like, also, yeah, we don't live in a 4-dimensional world. We don't. And if any string theorists pop up, I'm sorry, where's your evidence? Shut up. But yeah, that's a cool drawing though. That one is. Yeah. Text-based Frogger. Text-based is an option we could do, right? If you want to refresh your group theory, right? All you need to know about, if you're thinking about rotations, right? So let's take it to do rotations. This is the trick, right? 2-dimensional rotations, yes, SO2. 3-dimensional rotations is SO3. 4-dimensional rotations is SO4. SO2, this is isomorphic. I can't remember what the symbol is for isomorphism. I'm just going to do arrows. It is isomorphic to SU. No, it's not SU. It's just, sorry, that's just U1, right? That's going to be isomorphic, homomorphic with a double covering in SU2. And is this a normal, another covering of 2 SU2s here? Like that. So you've technically got like, these are SUs, by the way, they're not O's. My handwriting. And then effectively, the other way of viewing this is you've got a quaternion. This is a quaternion, effectively, which is Hamiltonian space like that. That's a boldface H, right? Actually, complex numbers. And these are effectively, you've got your complex some quaternion left-handed with a quaternion right-handed to represent those rotations. Yeah, I'm now boring people with math. But this is where, like, you understand, like, that this is a isomorphism, that's a homomorphism. Like, look at my scroll. And that's kind of the way to understand the mathematics. So if you want to look at SO5, there's no easy, simple thing. But SO5 is what you do this. So the way you would cheat to get SO5 to work is you'd look for the spin group 5. And then you'd be fine. It'll be fine. But that's if you think 5 dimensions. But if you wanted to go all the way, and I mean this, to 7 dimensions, that would be fine, because also there's a beauty thing when you get in 7 dimensions. You get the cross product back. So this cross product only works in 3 and 7 dimensions. So rotations in 7 are kind of weird, easier to deal with. But right, I'm not talking about spin groups and power towers and I mean Whitehead towers, not power towers. Whitehead towers. Yeah. We're not doing number file, right? We're not doing number file. And when I say number file, this is more like, hey, would you like PhD level mathematics or physics? Because that's what it will be. Not for the faint-hearted is what I'm trying to tell. So this is kind of good. So I'm trying to think what game I would probably work next. And I want to try and do an actual game with, like, we could do a platformer, right? A 2D platformer would be easy enough to do. So that's an option. So if we go back onto here, we could have a, so game ideas, actual game ideas. We've got a 2D. Oh, no. What am I doing on there? Brush size. That. A 2D platformer. Yeah, that's one option. We could do another one. We could have a tower defense game. Tower defense. Right? That sounds a bit funny. Why? Who else is doing a tower defense game at the moment? But I would do this in... I don't know. Would you do a top-down? So there's problem options here with this. You could do a top-down 2D. You could do an isometric 2D, or you could do an isometric 3D, your tower defense, right? Or you could just call it 3D. There's no point. Camera's just camera, right? So you could have the different types of tower defense. Now, the top-down one, like balloons, is a really simple way of doing things. So this is the, balloons is this one. This one's kind of like fine, and then you got this. Is there anything in particular about 2D game physics, or is just kinematics? So when it comes to platformers, it's really dumb. Like the collision detection is pretty much exactly what we've just done. And it's really quite dumb. And the other thing is, if you know you are hitting something, you don't apply any gravity. If you're not hitting something, then you apply gravity. And many 2D platformers don't even actually do acceleration. They just do linear velocity. Or they'll do something else. It's like you'll find things to tweak it out that feels correct. This is the thing about games. You make it feel correct. Those are the rules. You don't try and make it match reality, right? Doesn't work. So they're the two games. We've got other ones people saying is Frogger. Yeah, that's another one. You know, I could probably improve my handwriting if I write slower. Yeah, much nicer. Let's just write 2D platformer. Yes, we could do an MMO, real-time strategy, tower defense, FPS with asymmetric gameplay and 100% dragons. And yeah, it's a really good idea, actually. We could probably do that in about 3 hours, yeah? Seems easy enough to me. That previous dungeon crawler, so the one currently, this is not raycasted. This is just normal done, but I have done a raycasted one before. That's where those art assets are actually from. So, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Raycast reflections. You know, we could do. Again, that's not a problem. Look, you just draw an owl, right? You start off with the body like this, and then you give it some wings like this. Owls have got big eyes, and then you give them some legs. Like that's what legs look, right? Legs look like that. No, they've got more like that, and then you've got a thing, and then you just put. Then what you do to make sure people know it's an owl, you just write owl, right? Yeah, gotcha. That's the real trick. You label it, and then it's fine. Yeah, you label it, and then it's fine. But otherwise, you just do something else. And my famous trick, what you would do here, is, I don't know, I just learn how to draw on a graphics tablet properly. There's no, I've disabled all the pressure drawing on here, by the way. So we could do a, what could we do drawing wise? I don't know, just, this is what happens when you have not enough, like, sleep. Just some guy. I'll just draw a guy, as you do. He's got the crimson chin, obviously. Right, got some legs. We don't need to see his legs, but we need to make sure that crimson chin is as big as we can get, right? Those eyes are way up his face. Like his face is about here, right? So his eyes are actually about here. Face, and then he's got the crimson chin, right? Perfect. Calm set art for the next game. Guy with hands in pockets, right? With a belt. He's got a belt there. He's got a pocket. And a massive chin. And a very big forehead as well. Very small face, big forehead. Small mouth. It is. It is the... It's not the crimson chin. We can't call that for copyright reasons. So this would be the chameleon... No, cerulean? That's not a word, but cerulean. Carulean. That's now a word. Chin. Yeah, there we go. I don't have a big jaw, that's my thing. He hasn't even got a beard, so he needs to give a beard off now. No, that's more Fu Manchu, but at that point. It's not the crimson chin, it's the cerulean. That's a new word. Sounds good. We've got an owl, we've got a man. This is drawing, this is game design. We could figure out different games. Otherwise, okay, let's go back to have serious questions. We've got all the ideas for games we could have fun with. What could we else have fun with is the question. Okay, I'm gonna have to admit this, and I'm gonna offend Jonathan Blow by saying this. I hate Sokobans. I absolutely hate them. Not a genre of game I like. And he say that's not a genre, it's just a mechanic. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't like Sokobans. It's just more of a. I've not played a good one yet. Sorry. Sorry. You could do a card game. Actually, that's okay. So we've got Tetris, which is not a bad idea. I think I've written one before. We could do card games. Card games. Oh, you know what I could play? Othello or Reversi. That's another one. Reversi. Another one we could do. I love playing that game. Sometimes fun. Chinese chess. I have no idea what Chinese chess is. They're not bad games. Actually, like the thing is, you could do a Tetris. We could do a Tetris in Raylib to see if we could do it. That's not a bad idea. We could also do Minesweeper, maybe. Minesweeper. A lot of these are actually simpler games than you think, really. Like some people, Minesweeper is actually quite difficult in the sense that, no, it's not. It's not difficult. What am I talking about? No, the difficult thing is more the flood fill algorithm I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking about, the difficulty of it. But it's not really difficult. It's a flood fill. You go like, yeah. No, nothing wrong with SDL or Raylib, by the way. Like, the different tools. Raylib's good for prototype. I wouldn't use it as a final product thing, to be honest with you. But that's the thing. And by the way, all of these, every single one of these games is going to be Odin. I'm going to do it with Raylib, not plus Raylib. Right? All of these are going to be on top like that. So we've got Odin's program language and Raylib is the prototyping thing. So I'm just trying to learn Raylib. But clearly my 2 days with it, and I'm already frustrated because I'm trying to do things outside what it's meant to be used for. A 3D platform with self-balancing active ragdoll physics. I think that's a little bit outside the scope of just Raylib. I'm not writing a 3D physics engine. It would take me a little bit longer, especially if ragdoll physics. Give me a week. At least. It'd be the worst ever physics engine you've ever seen, but it would work. Did you ever play old PlayStation card game Intelligence Cube? No, I didn't play Intelligence Cube, no. Endless Runner type game. I didn't play the Endless Runner games, but that's just a platformer at the end of the day, Endless Runner. Kind of. Well, most of those aren't even that good. Most of the Endless Runners like, oh, we need to move left or right or say the center. It's like, wow. Then some of them like, no, I have to jump. I'm like, they're really boring. And I know like, side scrollers is what I was originally thinking of, but yeah. The originally promised Spore game. Okay, so I've seen someone try and work on this. There's actually a game that's like it's still in like demo mode in like Steam. Now it's not good yet. I'll be honest with you, it's not that good. But I've seen someone trying to do it, which is pretty good. So they're just working on like the creature stage of Spore stage. Like if anyone's seen it, like I can remember the old. Oh god, I remember I was hoping for Spore when it was first coming out. If I can find Spore, and it's got the Robin Williams one where he's making all of the. There's a Brian Eno bit as well. Like this bit here, right? This is one of the original ones I remember saw. And this is kind of when I first saw this, I was like, oh my. And I was like, you can't hear the commentary from Robin Williams. He's doing some random Jewish jokes as well with the arms. This is how well this is stuck in my mind. But I just thought this was absolutely amazing when I first saw this. There was also I swear there was a Brian Eno one, right? No, this is this one I'm thinking of. Yeah, this was it. It was him and Will Wright and Brian Eno. Because of course you just bring Brian Eno for a game talk, obviously. Because that makes this is 17 years ago. Damn, this is aging me. But why Brian Eno? A brilliant composer, love him, was musician, all that stuff. But like look, this was much higher quality than someone's hand camera, right? And this was like still in the early development, but I remember it being very, very harsh. There was probably some more videos that were like this, which, yeah, it was great. And it just, I know what the issue was. There was like two competing teams within EA. One wanted the cutesy style and one wanted the really harsh style, and the cutesy style won over. And it had a lot of potential, but I think it's one of those where they went, look, which one would have won more, like literally made more money? And they went for the cutesy style, but also the combined, like so many different game styles. Like the early game style with the effectively say the bacteria stage or the C stage was bad. It was bad. I remember playing, someone made one. I went, oh, this is what I did. And they literally, I'd say the thing I remember playing on the internet someone made of that bit before even Spore came out was better than the Spore one, right? Because it was too cutesy. Then the animal stage was not, again, too, there's not much harshness to it. Like it didn't feel difficult, and it didn't feel like, it just didn't feel like well, animals, they didn't feel rough. That's the thing. Like they wanted like some excitement in there. Didn't feel excitement. Then you got to the tribal stage, which was, again, it wasn't a difficult game. I know it was meant for kids. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, it was like, I was a kid at the time playing it, kind of. Yeah. And then, that's aged me as well. But like, it was, I don't know, each stage was a little bit different. And then you had the civilization stage, and then you had the space stage. The space stage was okay, but it was just like, they're all just, it was like so many different games crammed together. And I wish they kind of just focused on like the first two stages, personally, and ignore the rest. No. So when he's saying we'll go, Brian Eno did do a lot of the music for The Sims, if I remember correctly. Some of it he did. So clearly they knew him from that. That's actually not a bad idea. Because this is how when you go tired, you go all over the place. This is what happens to me, at least. My brain and my mind just go like this. Thing like that and go, like that kind of thing, right? So what happens is that if I always loved The Sims, right? And I remember The Sims and Sims 2 was good. After that, Sims 2, when he got to Sims 3, I kind of stopped. Like, I played and went, no. So Sims 1 and Sims 2 were great. Sims 1 was great in the sense it was very simple. But like, this is what about Will Wright's games were. Again, they were originally all just isometric games as well. But you could rotate them as well. But there had to be different isometric views. And that's still complicated to deal with, obviously. But, yeah. That's the Sims for you. So I'm like, no, we can't make the Sims in a stream. Oh, we can't do that. We could make Tetris. We could easily make Tetris in one stream. Right? I think we could do Tetris in a stream, right? How difficult would that actually be? Isometric Tetris. Now that is something you'd actually have to prototype with, because I don't think that would be the nicest thing in the world to deal with. So we can get rid of all this and go back to this as our screensaver for the time being. But a Tetris, right? I'm guessing it shouldn't be difficult. Now, we can't call it Tetris, obviously. But my idea is, I bet we could do this in about... Okay, so first off, I've already done this. I remember... Oh, I completely forgot this. I ported a Tetris game from Raylib, in C Raylib, to Odin Raylib. So if I copy and paste all this... I'm not even joking. Right, this is 3D. Right? So copy and paste my code and paste it in. Here you go, we got Tetris done, guys. That was simple. And it's in Raylib. You can't see it because of how tiny it is. Right? Yeah, that was easy. But we'll probably try and do this from scratch, obviously, right? Not use the pre-built demo, which you can find on the Odin GitHub page under examples, obviously. And then you can work on, use this as a demo to see how it looks like for Odin. But like, it's kind of the, let's fit there. There. I know I'm not trying to get the highest score because I don't think it's actually Tetris. I think it's just got how many lines do you count. So it's like, yeah. Let's get a copyright strike with our hands. It's called Tetroid, so it's not actually the same thing. Damn it, why did I do this? I need to go there, and then there, and there. I need to sleep. Right, now you just see me play Tetris, and this is where Tetris kind of gets addicted. But there you go. Burning it cells. I don't care. I'm tired. I'm not even playing properly. So you may sound simple rule when you're coming up with the next great game idea. I'm not really bothered. I'm just having fun games. Like, clearly, I'm not trying to sell anything, make anything. But it's what it is. I'm 4 notes away from a full strike. But it's actually, technically, that isn't copyrightable because I think it's a traditional Russian song, isn't it? Folk song. I think. So that was we got Tetris in here already, and that was so quick, guys. We just wrote it just by copy and pasted pre-made code back to my amazing thing. Now, for all of this, I might actually put these on like somewhere on like my website. So if you want to use them, you can. Like to see how this works because it is kind of nice. But I'm just trying to think, is there anything else we could deal with? I don't think the Tetris one's not a bad idea, nor is the Minesweeper, nor the Othello one. But the problem with the Othello Reversi game is AI. Like, I would just have to do it, like one person takes a play, another one goes that. We could do a Populous remake. Well, now that's an option, but that's not a... Well, you'd have to do it. What do you mean I haven't seen anyone use Sublime Text for a long time? What's wrong with Sublime Text? Visual Studio is slow as dog crap. In comparison, how do people use Visual Studio Code? Seriously. So people don't use it. I've been using Sublime Text for a long time. It's great. It's got loads of bugs, the same bugs it has for ages, but it's like great. Every text editor's got its own bugs. All right. Oh, I'm not doing ChatGPT. ChatGPT's not good. No. VS plus VX Assistant. So, all right, first off, anything that's literally just a web browser is never going to be fast. You can't convince me otherwise. Anything, it's not. It's just not going to be going there. Right? Sorry, I gotta say that. If you want whatever text editor you like, that's great. I won't try not to use a web browser as a text editor. So I'm going to call that a night. So it's been wonderful speaking to you all guys. I've gone over by my time limit by an entire hour. I was meant to be gone by an hour, and then the raid happened. So I'll say the damn Primer Gem. Thank you, I think. So I hope that stream went all right. So hopefully the next time I'm on, I have no idea when that's going to happen. It's hopefully within, I don't know, within a week at least, but it might not be then. It's definitely, yeah, whatever. It's definitely not Friday, okay? Not Friday. Could be tomorrow, but it might not be either. But whenever it is, I hope you come to the stream. I don't know why I'm whispering. So, see ya. Anyway, and have a good one. I'm going to find someone else to send this to. Is there anyone else we could, like, raid? I'm just looking at people to click raid before I do anything else. I don't really see anyone I want to raid. There's a handsome chap. Oh, it's me doing it, obviously. No, it's Theo. No. No, it's just finding someone to raid. You know what? We're not going to raid anyone. Going to call it a night. So good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Stay for the next one, whenever that may be. Bye.